Most horrible
Men are the problem.
Men.
Men leave.
Are men trash?
men or a bear.
It's because a man done did something to her.
The bear's not gonna.
So men have been.
Men are the most horrible creatures.
Men are the problem.
Men.
Men leave.
Are men trash?
Men or a bear.
It's because a man done did something to her.
The bear's not gonna.
So men have been.
Men are the most horrible creatures.
Men are the problem.
Men.
Men leave.
Are men trash?
Men or a bear.
It's because a man
Most
done did
horrible
something to her.
Men are
The bear's not gonna.
So men have been.
Men are the most horrible creatures.
Men are the problem.
Men.
Men leave.
Are men trash?
Men or a bear.
It's because a man done did something to her.
What's up, guys? What's up? Hope you guys are all doing well. So, I've been, tonight we'll watch another Cam Newton podcast. I thought they're kind of interesting. Yo, Alvi, thank you for stopping by, bro. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah. I think he has an interesting guest. I've seen her on and off a little bit on TikTok. I've never fully watched her stuff, so I figured why not check her out on Cam Newton's podcast. So I think it'll be an interesting conversation. She is a good-looking woman, but seems to be kind of like a dating coach or dating guru, or she talks a lot about dating. And it's just that I see this a lot and more, is that a lot of women are doing this. One of the careers women are doing is becoming dating coaches, dating gurus. What is it? Meditation. It's like manifestation coaches. All these coaches kind of thing, trying to coach other women, which is pretty much, finding ways to make money off of, women and stuff with these professions. So I think she is one, but we'll figure it out. So I think it'll be interesting. So let's check it out. Let's get started. Now I gotta say, Cam, he's corny. Boys, he talks really neurotic. But I mean, whatever.
Go.
Yeah.
And
it's a 4-hour podcast, so I'm gonna be skipping a lot of shit. So I'm not gonna be reacting to 4 hours worth of content. So if you want to see, the full video, you could always check his video out.
with that being said, I would love for people to receive from this particular conversation a great, healthy conversation that pushes the culture forward.
Come on. Yes.
You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, last time I had a person that was labeled a doctor
Yes.
sitting across from me.
Yes.
I had so many questions. She had so many questions.
Yes.
And one thing that I let her off the hook by not asking or kind of like really whatever is how do we get to the point of doctor?
Well, for me, it was really easy. I have an honorary doctorate and I have 3 degrees. And I was recognized for business strategy and Christian leadership. And so I've been recognized for a lot of the work I do outside of the classroom. Kind of like Shaquille O'Neal.
Honorary doctorate, not a real degree. My mom watches this guy, so Cam Newton gets the attention of women somewhat. You know what? I think a lot of his followers are women, but I think he politically corrects himself a lot because his audience will leave if he said something wrong. You know what? That's probably true. Yeah, it's why Kevin Samuel was hated by women. Exactly. Yeah, I think his audience seemed to be a lot of women, and this is why I think he talks very weird. Because I think he's always trying to figure out the right way to say something. So it makes it really weird.
Usher.
And yo, Just, thank you for stopping by, bro. Love you, bro.
A lot of people are bestowed this title not for what they do at school, but what they do in the community. So I've been in the community since I was 8 years old, and I'm honored and I'm grateful, and it's exciting, and I've learned a lot, and I've studied a lot, and I've done all of the things. But yeah, that, for me, that's what it looked like. For others, school is probably the answer.
So, but you got your doctorate from what practice?
Well, ask me that in a different way.
Okay, you're a doctor of what?
Business leader or business strategy and Christian leadership.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, this person that we know, extremely attractive.
Thank you.
Navigating in this world of hyenas.
Yes.
Dogs.
Yes.
Men who are fiction and nonfiction.
Yes.
Right?
What does that mean?
How are you? You know what? Let me go back because I'm speeding. 'Cause Lord
Hey,
Jesus,
look, we can
man.
speed, we can coast, whatever you want.
Where are you from, Miss Fondo?
I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. And yes, I said it right. Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. And it's a small town in the prairie. And, you know, my upbringing is very different. So being in Atlanta, although I was in LA for 15 years before I just moved here, feels like an even higher level of culture shock because I was the only black girl in every grade. You know, all the black people where I'm from, we all knew each other. My mom is Auntie Pam to everybody, you know? So it's been a fun journey and an experience, but honestly, like, I don't come from privilege. I love that you said, you know, have you ever been on a bus? Oh, I've been on the bus, and more so, I've been on busted shoes because I couldn't afford to take the bus, right? And so I feel like the journey of going there, then to America, has been next level and crazy, and I'm grateful.
Did you grow up in a two-parent household?
I did.
How long have your parents been together?
I don't know overall, but married, got to be 30 years now. I have 7 brothers and sisters. 5 of us grew up in the same house. And my parents, you know what, it's crazy because I have a podcast, It's Giving, right? And I just had my mom came to visit for 2 days, and I had her on my podcast. And we were having the conversation of how I almost feel like my parents have ruined me inside of relationships because I feel like we live in a weak generation. I feel like we live in a place where people quit, they throw in the towel, they get to a space of, oh, this person liked that picture on Instagram, I'm done. Like, do you have staying power or not? And so with my parents, my dad ruptured a disc in his back when I was 10 years old. We went from a 2-family income household to 1. My mom was getting her master's in engineering, kept going to school full time, making sure all of us weren't homeless, taking care of my dad, and also her own life, still making my dad head of household. So the level of woman that I've seen in my experience and the level of what marriage actually means to me through my experience is way different from this 2024 watered down microwave version.
Now, you just said a lot.
Amazing. I mean, off to a good start with how I view her. Yeah, I do agree that you know, relationship nowadays is very weak. It's very weak. There's no ride or die anymore. That is something that a lot of men are seeing. At least the good men are experiencing. There's not a lot of ride or die anymore. She watches the other guy too. Club Shay Shay, that interview I speed recently. I may include some Club Shay Shay interviews in, you know, on the pod too.
I know.
That may fly over a lot of people's dreads, bald heads, wigs, toupees.
All of it.
Lace fronts.
All of it.
No fronts. All that. Now, the thing that I did hear that in my mind was staying power.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means, are you willing to ride it out? Are you willing? Number one, so I'm gonna take it all the way back. We live in a generation now where people want connection so badly that they'll take anyone to get it. And you have to remember that we live in a generation where, as women, we are taught to get married and have a family, get married and have a family. And if your only objective is to get married and have a family, it doesn't matter who fills that role. As opposed to, if you're after alignment and purpose and integrity with God, that's a whole different ballgame. And so inside of that, what is it that you're actually after? You don't have to have staying power if you're just after marriage and a family. You could marry anybody. Anyone could make me a mother tomorrow. Period. You can make any woman a mother tomorrow. That's not hard. That's not challenging. The challenge is, are you willing to look yourself in the face and say, you know what? That was an ugly version of me. Are you willing to say, dang, I need to have more accountability? Are you willing to actually have integrity with what you say with yourself? Or are you willing to have those weak moments and embarrass your partner because of X, Y, Z, whatever it is, it could be, right? And this is just generally speaking. I think it's really important for us as people to understand, what is it that we're after? Is it a dating experience, or are we after partnership in life? Because I feel like people are plugging dating experience into partnership with life, and that will never work.
When you talk about what you've mentioned, another thing that I want to kind of go back to is talk about how your parents kind of
Ruined. Definitely, yeah.
Speak on that.
Yeah, because my parents have been through everything. Like even most recently, 2023 was one of the hardest years of my life. And it's funny because people see me now and they're like, oh, she's never been through anything. When I moved to America by myself at 20 years old to pursue acting, I'm a cliche. But when I moved to America, I was struggling every single month, calling my mom every month saying, can you please help me pay my rent? I was that girl and I could be transparent, right? I don't have to be fluffy. I was a girl digging out.
You know, I do say this. What women say and what women do, I think is totally two different things. I do agree with that. I've said this. I mean, it's a long podcast, so we'll probably get into it. She is a good-looking woman. She's a good-looking woman. So for me to think that she can't get a man that would be a good man, stand the test of time, you know, treat her amazingly, love her, all that stuff is very hard to believe. It's very hard to believe. I've said this countless times before. Okay? Dating for women is on easy mode. Easy mode. Whether you are ugly or pretty, old or young, whatever, you will get a man. Easy. I think the problem is that you are attracted to or you attract terrible men. And I think that's a red flag. Because if you're into terrible men, don't matter what kind of ideology you have, you are attracted to terrible men. So really, you know, or you're just hard to deal with, which is I think a lot of women are not truthful about. That they put on a kind of persona, but in relationships, they are hard to deal with.
$3 out of my couch so I could afford to put $3 on pump 5. And not because I was in a rush, but because that was literally all the money that I had. And so what I mean is, are you willing to go and be with the person if I did rupture a disc in my back? If I did go through cancer, because that's what happened with my dad in 2023. My mom gained 100 pounds trying to make sure that all of us were good. And my parents were still more committed to their commitment to one another than it was about, oh, this is hard right now. And that's another thing. People inside of relationships don't understand that there's seasons. Just in life, like when you look at science, summer, you know, spring, fall, winter, the seasons happen. And no matter what way they happen or the chronological order in which they happen, we have to understand that you're not going to like your person all of the time. It's just not realistic. And so for me, I think I have a very logical and realistic standpoint on a romantic culture that's based in something shallow and most times on a facade.
Have you had, for what you aspire to have, have you had or do you have a healthy example of that?
Yes, absolutely I do. My parents.
Okay.
Like literally, my parents still hold each other's hand. They still kiss. I've never seen my parents argue. Now, I will say one of the things that I learned, because I do therapy, I believe in self-awareness, all these different things.
You do therapy as in you're the client?
Yes, I'm the client.
Okay.
Trying to find my blind spots, right? Because we can only be as great as we know, right? If I don't know any better, how do I fix it? And so, the thing with my parents is because I've never seen them fight, I also didn't get to experience repair in the home. See, repair looks different for different people. If you are arguing, can you argue in front of us in a healthy way, but also can you repair it in front of us? Because for me, I had to figure that out on my own. So I've had my fair share of toxic relationships in the past, for sure. You know, I've been engaged 2.5 times, and I feel like, I know, every time. What's the half?
Yeah. You got to stop saying that. It's either you were or you wasn't. So
Well,
it's either two or 3.
No, it's a half.
Not to get distracted. We're going to come back to that half.
Okay. But I feel like
I always think that a lot of women, they think being engaged so many times is it ain't a good image. It ain't a good image. It's not a good image. And usually it's the women that breaks up relationships. So we'll hear it, but I mean, it's never a good thing. Oh, I've been engaged so many times. That doesn't bode well.
Their dynamic has taught me emotional regulation. Because it's not like my parents probably didn't want to punch each other in the face some days. It's relationships, you know? Sometimes people just irk your life. That's normal. But they never did it in front of us. And so now for me, respect is on such a high level. Like, I will never, those people that you see do things publicly, I'm like, ooh, it's the beginning of the end.
But like what though?
Disrespect, public disrespect in front of children or just out at the restaurant.
Sure.
I think that is so tacky. That is such a tacky way of throwing your person on the front line to be eaten by wolves. Why would you do that? If this is the person that you're powerfully choosing, why would you throw them to the wolves? But that goes back to most people don't powerfully choose. Most people come.
See, this is, I mean, just listen to just a few things she says. And I've heard other things she said on TikTok and stuff. This is a thing where it's very sus. Because she says a lot of beautiful things, amazing things, okay? She's still single. It's very sus. It's just, you know, that's why I just honestly, I don't know.
Comfortably settle.
Now, the half.
Okay. So the half, I was dating a guy, and we started reading this book called 101 Questions Before You Get Engaged. And he was like, we're gonna get married, we're gonna do all these things. He asked my dad for permission to marry me in front of myself and my mother in a month and a half of our relationship. Now I'm big grown at this age, I know. It only lasted 7 months. I found out, you know, I hate to use the buzzwords of like narcissist, but my therapist says narcissistic personality disorder was that situation. So it was a lot of breadcrumbing, it was a lot of gaslighting, it was a lot of all of those things. It was a trauma bond for me also because my dad, we thought we were gonna lose my dad. And so I didn't choose from a powerful place. I actually was really wounded in that space.
Yeah.
But that's okay, I wish him well, I hope all is well. But I say that to say that my dad, when he asked permission, my dad is from Compton, California, okay? My mom's Canadian, my dad's from Compton. I'm like right in the middle, you know, like warrior princess, like kind of like right in the middle. Zena, that should have been my name. My name should have been Zena. Anyway, I say that to say that my dad was very upset that he would ever disrespect him and ask him that in front of myself and my mother, because that's not something you do. But then it went back to, it was all a part of the show. It was all a part of the breadcrumb. Look, don't you see? I'm asking your dad for permission to marry you. Don't you see? We're reading this book. Don't you see? We're talking about marriage. And I was so enrolled into that because I realized in that wounded time for me that I really wanted my dad to walk me down the aisle. Like, that is so important for me on my wedding day, for my dad to walk me down the aisle. And it wasn't until I went through therapy that I realized I was in a rush. I was in a rush.
This is the thing where this is the thing. Women prove that saying a lot. She's a red flag because she's attracted to and attract terrible men. You know, this is the thing where, yeah, she probably is for the streets. Yes, she says a lot of beautiful things. This is something that women can never understand. Although maybe your ideology, oh, I believe in monogamy, I believe in the man should be the leader of the household, I believe to be submissive to a man, great. Yet when you honestly choose the thug, choose the pookie, choose the player, choose the Chad, choose the bad boy, and give him that honor, it means nothing. It means nothing. You could be the most amazing woman in the world, so submissive, so loving, like absolutely perfect for a man. Yet you are only attracted to shitty men. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. This is the thing where I've said it, where women don't realize. Women constantly said, oh, I've ride or die with a man before. I've been submissive to men. Yeah, but you've done that to shitty men. So when you're in relationship with shitty men, you gave shitty men this honor, and then these shitty men destroyed you, made you jaded, change your mind, and now for good men, you won't do that, right? It's like, oh no, I have to be provided for. You have to be it's like all these stipulations. He has to be over 6 foot. He has to be over, over 6 figures. All these standards and preferences. And then it's like, oh no, I'm not being submissive to him. No, I'm not bending to him. Then really, it's not. This is the thing. It's not great or anything.
To do it wrong, just as many people are. And so I had a real conversation with my dad, and my dad would never want me to marry someone just to be married, because there are a lot of miserable married people out here. And I think that's the problem. So many people are setting marriage as the goal. The goal should not be marriage. The goal should be happiness, fulfillment, alignment, integrity, God, barometer. That should be the goal. And if that's not it, I don't think people should get married.
Now, in your family's dynamic growing up, right? Were there ever a separation? They just thugged it out.
No, they thugged it out.
Okay. With that process of thugging it out, having children, having a family, I understand the power of, hey, this is a grown-up conversation. Y'all go upstairs, y'all go downstairs, y'all go back outside. I do believe in not necessarily involving children in conversations, whether directly or indirectly.
I agree.
But I do believe when there is a proper time for certain things to be had, that child at a age of maturity should be able to ask certain in-depth questions
Yes.
that can lead to more perspective.
Yes.
Now, I have been open about my whole really life. Sometimes it is,
Yes.
and that temptation starts to happen. It's like, who do I go to then? Because I can't go to the holier than thou person because their response is going to be, that ain't of God.
Right.
But that's not getting to the nucleus of the situation.
Right.
When I need certain answers or I need certain outlets or I need
home, but you got to get out of here. And one of the bartenders, who was 6'3", super, everybody knew he was like the guy, like the man's man. He tried to flex up on my dad, Cam.
No way.
He tried it. And I was walking beside my dad and I screamed, "Don't you ever disrespect your elders that way, blah, 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 blah." I was like 8.
Okay.
I'm young. But I always felt like I could be bold because my dad was there. And the same way with my mom is always, she never told us the answer. She told us what an outcome would be. And this, like when I went to my mom saying, all right, I think I'm ready to have sex for the first time. First time I'm in my late teens, I'm in a relationship. I'm like, Mom, this could go one of 2 ways. You know, I could risk it all, or you could take me to do the things. My mom put me on birth control. And so it's like, but she told me, if you choose to do this, just know you're going to change. Your emotions are going to change. You might even go a little bit crazy. So it was never a matter of this is the right way or this is the wrong way. It's these are the outcomes. Which do you choose? And so for me, the way that my soul sister goddess tribe works is, what is the outcome that you want? I will never be the girlfriend that says,
Soul Sister Goddess Tribe? The hell is these women's like lingo?
oh girl, you need to get rid of him. Oh, he ain't nothing. Oh, he cheating again. I would never be. What do you want? What is the outcome that you desire? Because that's the direction that you move in alignment with. And I feel like people, because of a lack of self-awareness, and I've done this too. I've been into the perception versus reality. I've been a part of I'm every hashtag, Black love, relationship goals, Black excellence, and it was toxic in reality, you know? And now I'm in a space where if I could be honest about me, hopefully someone else doesn't have to go through, or at least they can grow through what it is that I went through.
Controversial opinion. I don't think women are good. I don't think it's a good idea for women to be coaches or leaders in general, not specifically. Leaders, gurus, anything that teaches other people, specifically, outside of anything that's logical. Relationship, it's like there's a whole lot of emotion to it. I think when women deal with that, they can't handle it. They can't change it into more a logical state. They always do it more emotional state, and it's very wacky. It's very wacky to me.
True.
Okay.
All healthy.
Yes.
One issue though.
Tell me.
You don't have no men.
I have a couple, but they're not in my soul sister goddess tribe.
Facts. My issue with a lot of women is not a lot of women understand how men think.
True.
They used to have a book, Think Like a Man. That was a damn recipe that men didn't really want out. The real one though. I'm not necessarily going by the movie, about a book.
Yeah.
But that saying right there.
Yeah.
Because the women who gets it are the women who have a soul brother tribe.
Yeah.
That ain't trying to fuck you.
Yeah.
Ain't trying to come on to you.
Yes.
Now, they have a respect for you to say, you know what, Sarah, what you going through? Like, you do know what your outfit is saying right now.
Yes.
You do know by having had sex with this man, first night, second night, first week, second week, 30 days,
Yeah.
that relationship didn't change.
Yeah.
You do understand there's a BC in a relationship and there's an AD in a relationship. BC meaning before coochie. And AD means after dick.
Dang.
Every woman should understand in their tribe, in their ecosystem, they need that real man advice.
I agree.
And a lot of women don't.
Yeah.
Like, they just think that all these girls, we gonna go, sis, empower me, sis, do this, sis. That ain't, you know, but the reality of it all is you need somebody from the alpha or male descent that's gonna keep it a big buck with
I
you.
agree.
Me having daughters, I keep it a big buck.
Good.
I don't sugarcoat Nathaniel. It gets us nowhere.
Right.
Right?
Harder. It's more challenging to have male friends because most men will sit in the wings until you give them the go.
Hello?
Yeah. So it's challenging to find those men that are willing to just suppress all the way into, are we
I cannot imagine this kind of woman having any kind of male friends. I'm doubtful.
real friends in real life?
But you know who dictates that, though?
The woman.
The woman.
I agree. For sure.
The man
Yeah.
will play his role for centuries. For one opportunity or
Yep.
slip up. You know what, Sarah? Lately I know he wasn't the person for you, but I didn't want to tell you that.
I know.
We've been friends for years and I'm just ready to take it there. You intoxicated, you off your Chardonnay, you off your lemon drop, you fresh out of a relationship on that girl's trip, and boom, 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 and you don't even realize that you been sniped.
Yes.
No DC. Like, real talk. So with that whole understanding of that, I think it's so important for women to understand that a man can assist in your growth.
Yes.
A man can assist in your growth, and it's your responsibility to draw the line.
Yes.
Because a man will stay behind that line.
No. I think the only man that will assist in her kind of growth is her brothers, her father, maybe any other kind of relatives. Like, not no creepy or disgusting relative, just a good relative. I don't like it when, like, he's probably Camish to say make the line because he knows that men will try to cross it. It's just no.
Yeah.
Stay behind that line until that tide come and wash it away, and he gonna pursue.
Well, you know, for me, what I do is everyone, like I'm dating, I'm single as in I'm not married, right? I'm dating. And one of the things for me is anytime I come in.
Wow, that's interesting. Would you, personal opinion, do you even find her at all attractive? I have not a girlfriend. Do you find her attractive or anything? Because I find this is a thing where the only time you can have a girl that is a friend, you find her attractive, and wow, that's crazy. Because I find it like, if you find her attractive and she has the personality to be friends, it kind of makes it really hard. I don't know. I'll give you credit for that. That's amazing because then she's essentially the ideal woman in the sense. She's a friend. You like her personality, and she's attractive. For me, I can only think that if you can be friends with a woman, is that you don't find her attractive at all. You like her personality, you just can't find her attractive.
Terms with a man that I'm like, oh, this could be a guy that I would be interested in, be my friend. That's the problem. People they skip the getting to know you phase and jump into relationship phase. So now it's easy for people to stay behind the line for me because that's all you ever were. That's until, you know, if you get recruited, then yay. But ultimately, everyone should start off as a friend. Everyone should start off because literally the honeymoon phase, the chemical, it's all a chemical. Attraction, it's all chemical. It's not real. It's our body faking us out. That's what I'm saying. I'm logical. Like, I'm probably too logical for my own good. I just went on a whole random tangent in my own mind, but I say that to say that it's so important for us to stop jumping into things because it feels good in the moment. Do they have capacity for you? You know, but I do agree. I think that having a male perspective is strong. I was talking to one of my friends, I don't know how long ago this was, but one of my closest guy friends, and I was saying how this is before I got into my relationship before my last. And the guy that I was with was saying how, you know, he thinks I'm an amazing woman and we're just, you know, we're getting to know one another, not sexually, but intellectually. We're getting to know one another. And he said, but I don't want anything serious right now. Like and my guy friend was like, Sarah, this is what he's saying. I want a fun time. I want a girl that's down to do whatever without the commitment. That's not me. I'm not that girl. So we ended up getting into a committed relationship because I stayed as his friend. And then it was like we both chose one another. But ultimately, it shouldn't be a matter of, oh, I'm going to sleep with you in the hopes that now you'll make a commitment to me. No, make a commitment to me. And I'm not saying that means you have to be exclusive, but make a commitment to me and then we'll figure it out from there. Does that make sense?
A lot of it.
Logical? Was she being logical? Because she actually, this is the thing that was stupid. That was stupid because it's like her friend wanted sex without commitment. She didn't want that. So what they do is have commitment so he can get the body. They're not together anymore. So you pretty much, it's like that's not, this is the thing where a lot of men will do whatever it takes. Fake commitment, whatever, years of trying just to get the body.
I'm gonna give you this and we'll move on. Free game. A lot of women, they do dictate a relationship. They control the pace of how the relationship goes.
For sure.
They're in essence the bus driver.
Got in there.
But it goes hand in hand.
I agree.
A lot of women may say, oh, that's my friend. We have to start off as friends first. Cool. Understand this though. On the opposite side, in a man's world, the equivalent of a woman saying a man is friend zoned.
No, not friend zoned.
Check it. But for those, not in your specific situation, I'm just saying, for those women who say, oh, that's my friend, in that friend zone, the equivalent for a man is a woman being in the fuck zone.
Yeah.
It's no coming out of that.
Yeah.
It's like, we fucking, we just going steady, baby. We ain't, you know what I'm saying? You my little buddy.
Right.
That's what Rocco say, you know
Can't
what I
do
mean?
it.
It's just, y'all think it's not a yin to every yang. And as we go, I'm not a doctor by no stretch of the imagination, but I done been around the block a couple times.
Say it.
And I'm not afraid to admit that I've had a lot of good women in my life.
I believe you.
And throughout those times, those women I took advantage of. Sad to say, but I'm just living in my truth. Knowing what I know, a lot of women don't realize, it's like, yo, do you know the difference between a man who really fucks with you or a man that's just fucking you?
End of podcast. That's a bar.
I have a lot of those.
Can I see. Please. Can I ask one question though, a personal question?
Please.
Because, and this is, for me, I want clarity because I saw a clip that you did and it went viral and it was talking about relationships and you had said what you said about your relationship now and how it hasn't always been that person. And I think for me, inside of that, my mind immediately went to, well, is this really cheating or is this an arrangement? Because I think that a lot of the times people that don't understand or don't know, or they're so quick to label something. Oh, that man's a cheater, he's a cheater. Is he? Or is this something that you guys have decided and come from an empowering way where now, you know, she may feel like she has to respond or whatever it is, but the truth is she only feels like she has to respond because people don't know what it is.
For sure.
So I think that ultimately, because most men, most high value, high earning, masculine men with a lot of options at a certain time of their life will still exercise those options. That's just the reality of the situation. And also, I think that if you talk about it in an empowering way of we are grown adults and we know exactly what we're signing up for, that sounds a little bit different than, you know, I get to do what I want to do. For sure. You know what I mean? Just the difference between this is an arrangement or this is cheating. I don't think most people understand that because most people will never be in the top 1% of the 1%, nor.
I do gotta say, I find it foolish for a lot of women. Maybe this is my kind of thing where it's like an unspoken thing. Where if you are getting with a man that is wealthy, I'm not saying six figures, but I'm saying like over $500,000, at least over $500,000. Those men, I think it's rare for any of those men to be monogamous. I think it's rare. But definitely, I think it's rare for a millionaire to be monogamous. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think it's rare. So I'm always thinking about, I think it's an unspoken thing where if you get in with those types of men, how can you think these men will be monogamous? Because these men are the top of the top when it comes to options. So, I don't know. I always think that's why women that think they get with athletes, entertainers, I don't know, high level influencers. You think these men are monogamous? You're crazy.
Date the top 1% of the 1%.
Now, to answer your question, I think this is what makes this platform a little different because I've seen you on multiple platforms, and I don't think I would agree, or a lot of people can see the life that I've lived.
Right.
Or can cope with, like, yo, like this, that, and the third. To answer your question, I don't think this is an arrangement, nor is it cheating. I think you grow with somebody. And the crazy thing, going back to what I previously said, when you're living in your truth,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people want the benefits without also accepting the bullshit. Now, a person who may hear that may say, "Oh, so I'm okay, I'm good. I'm sorry that you're not for me."
Yeah.
But when you cite the source of who that comment is coming from, you're not mine either. So,
Yeah.
the thing that I say for every man, and with having that conversation with Corey Holcomb, it allowed me to speak my truth, but I could not go into, because of the timing and how the conversation went. The reality of it is, when you're living in your truth, being able to be 100% yourself that's the flex.
Yeah.
That's the flex. Not the flex in saying I get to do whatever the fuck I want to do. The flex is being able to say, I know I fucked up. Babe.
Yeah, I think Cam Newton says a lot of weird. He goes about talking very weird.
Before you hear this shit from somebody else, I'm man enough to tell you this is where I'm at mentally. And she does an unbelievable job by not judging the branch of the tree, but getting to the root of the tree. Because everything stems from something. And as I put my life in the forefront, I'm challenging all men to have that uncomfortable conversation with your partner.
Sheesh. Yeah.
That we all, like, stop the lying, bro. Stop all that fuck ass, bullshit ass, like, that bullshit, dog. Cause when you have these conversations with the fellas, and there's a meme or something that Mike Epps said in a stand-up comedy. He's like, that nigga don't act like that. Like, but for me, I act like that around my partner. She knows that. And this is not something that I act when I need other people to witness it. The thing that is the biggest flex is, like, we go on dates, we go out, we do life together, and I'm able to be myself. I ask her about her, she asked me about me, and we throw it all out there. And of course, there are some things that I've said to her that hurt her feelings.
Of course.
But in return, she says some things that hurt my feelings.
Of course.
The flex is we're able to go to bed at night.
Yeah.
And we cuddle.
Yeah.
We talk.
Yes.
We wake up in the morning, I smoke my cigar, I have my espresso, she eats her croissant, she drinks her smoothie, and we're able to communicate.
Yeah.
That right there is something that's easily said, but not always implemented.
And I think the problem is because men have been groomed to lie based off of their experiences with women. And this isn't to give anybody an out, because I do have, I speak a lot to the men and accountability for women, but let's call a spade a spade. The truth is, Cam, if you were honest from the beginning, and I've only ever been in monogamous relationships, right? So I don't know. But if my man were to come to me, because I've never been in a relationship for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, I can't speak from an experience I've never had, but so often people try to do that. So if my man came to me and said, baby, you know what? I want to try something different. The truth is, I don't know what my answer would be. However, the level of respect that I have for that man, that we can have a conversation and be like, okay, this is what it looks like, because a lot of women think they're in monogamous relationships, but their men just keep it hidden. And so I feel like in a huge way, and that is the point, that men and women need to communicate about the desires of their heart, and then I can powerfully choose you, or I can powerfully let you go. But so often we get into these spaces where it's like, oh no, well, my man would never, your man probably is.
Yes.
My girl would never, oh, your girl probably already did.
Yes.
And so
I do like to speak on it that I've always been a believer that I don't like cheating. But if you are a type of man that wants multiple women, always make it up front. Always bring it up front. Where before you even have a relationship, that, I'm a man of value, I have a man of options, I'm highly desired, whatever. I want multiple women. I have more respect for that than just the cheating shit.
think that it's important to have that conversation, because it's like, and this is my honest truth is, I think cheating is weak. I think cheating is weak, and I say that because you're bold enough to make this action that you're hiding around, and you're deceitful, and you got to be sneaky, but you're not bold enough to tell your partner. Now, an arrangement, like I said, if you know exactly what it is, or you know exactly what to expect, that is completely different from a deceitful act. It's not the act of a man having sex with another woman that women care about. Why is the first question that a woman asks after she's cheated on, well, do you love her? Because it's not about the physical act. We know that men don't care about most of the women that they smash anyway. It's not realistic to even say that. So I feel like women don't care about the act. They care about the feeling. They care about the deceit. They care about the lies. And if men would just take accountability and keep it a buck with how and who they are, then it would be a different ballgame. And I do think that that's a conversation that needs to happen more often. And I don't know why there's so much shame wrapped around humans being human.
Sure.
It is what it, in my personal opinion.
But we're all living a lie.
I rebuke that.
Not we're all, but there's people who are living a lie.
Absolutely.
That
Look
it's
on
like,
Instagram.
Come on, bro.
Open
like,
the app.
Like, it's all power couple goals, this, that, and the third. But it's like, bro, nigga, tell your wife, tell your girlfriend, tell her what you really doing for that other person.
Yes.
Or, sis, tell him.
About your work husband.
Come on.
You gotta
Who
tell
you
him.
texting? Because cheating comes in many different shapes, forms, and sizes,
Agreed.
and it don't always have to deal or do with the physical act of sex.
I agree.
So you said something real quick, and I have to move on. We are 40 minutes into this first sector.
Oh, wow.
But we're starting a conversation that needs to be had.
Yeah.
In my situation,
Yeah.
I never went into or never had a conversation to say, like, I want to try something new. That's not what it is. We started off like, this is who I am. This is my triggers. This is what makes me weak. This is my negative. If we're looking at this in a very, let's say, tangible way, when we're on eHarmony, tell me something good about you.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And I'm also going to say, what is something bad about you? Blah, 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 ooh, blah, 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 blah. We have those type of conversations.
Important.
So it's not about me doing certain things that she's not aware of. It's when we started this journey together. We made the oath to each other, promised to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, the whole truth, so help me God. There's a thing that I feel that triggers me in a relationship. Don't spoon feed me information.
Period.
Knowing who I am, you know what the fuck I want to know.
Yeah.
If you went out with your girls, cool. How was that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. Oh, man, you know, she did this and she did that. Yeah, but you're keeping out that it was a man or men with y'all. That's what the fuck I'm asking.
Period.
Don't sit up here and leave that out.
Right.
And a lot of times, women do spoon feed information, which makes them just as guilty.
But it's because of the fragility of the ego.
That fragility word just flew. What the fuck is fragility?
It's when it's fragile.
Okay.
So if something is fragile, you have to be mindful.
State to say.
I think Cam is like, he likes to talk very long-winded and in a weird way to sound smart. The guy ain't that smart.
Babe, I'm not happy right now. I'm not happy with you.
Right.
I'm not happy with how business is going right now.
Yeah.
This is what triggers me. Okay, my trigger may be different than Cam, than Sam, than Dan, or Donald.
Right.
Because for Cam, it may be sex. For Donald, it may be domestic violence.
Right.
For Sam, it may be alcoholism. For Donald or Dan, it may be drug abuse. So, bullshit, benefits. You don't get to pick up the baggage that you want. You have to say, what you said, stay power?
Staying power.
Staying power.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to have you as a hostage more so than a volunteer.
Right.
Because I'm volunteering to be with you daily. I don't want you to be no hostage where it's like, man, he gonna do this or I gotta stay because, no. That's not that. Because if you want to ask yourself this ain't no new way of living. That's what people are so delusioned about.
The delusion is
This
real.
shit been happening for years.
Yeah.
Uncles, aunties,
Yeah.
dads, granddads, like everybody has always dealt with temptation.
Yeah.
And that's where I asked, have you been?
Yo, anti-black. That's the thing where, then, I mean, they're not known for their intelligence, and Cam is not really, proving otherwise.
And able to have that ecosystem, because for me, I've learned with certain things, a lot of people can't cope with my lifestyle.
Most will never understand
That-
to even know that they can or not.
But even to that point, when I get triggered, when I go through certain situations, bro, I'm coming to you like, dog, I'm hurting right now. I'm weak. I can't go to my women because of this. Because even though she's so submissive, even though she's so strong, even though she has so much insight, even though she has a way of calming me in ways that it does feel like a drug, there are certain things that I say to myself and I'm like, all right, I got a place of refuge in her.
Can I ask you just a direct question? Do you see yourself marrying her?
To your point,
Yeah.
marriage
Yes.
is not the ultimate goal for me.
Yes.
I do want to get married.
Well, that's good.
I do, but listen. So the thing about that word of, well, marry the girl. I'm not saying that to you directly. I'm
Right.
saying that to the people who see this and their response. We're so trauma bond by this thought of get married, have kids.
Yeah.
That's the way that the propaganda of life that everybody has been putting in our faces to say, okay, get married, have kids, whatever. Not or overlooking or not identifying that that's still a way for the devil to dwell in.
You know, I have to say, so marriage for me, when I think about marriage, right, we have to understand that, first of all, a marriage license, which is different from marriage.
This is the thing where sometimes I wish Cam just be more intellectually blunt. Like, no, I don't want to get married. I like how my life is right now. I have multiple women that I'm dating and I have kids with. Okay, that's the life you live. Don't say that, oh, I want to get married, because you don't want to get married. And that's fine. But it's like, maybe you are catering to your women audience, but it's like, you have multiple baby mamas. You know? I was like, and you have a current girlfriend that's your baby mama. Just say that you don't want to get married. Be blunt.
But I think a lot of people get caught onto the marriage license part. Wasn't even established. It's really new. It happened in 1929. And it happened so that black men couldn't marry white women. It was illegal. So now you can't get your marriage license. You're not really married. That's what the marriage license is rooted in. But I do believe that if, and I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about anyone in general. This is just my opinion. If you found a person that you feel in alignment with, that a man, because I feel like men don't even feel safe to be themselves in 2024. You know, there's all of these different things trying to be like, you need to be a man. You can't be vulnerable. If you cry, I'm gonna leave you. Like, oh, so you're telling this man he can't be human, is essentially what you're saying. If you're not a safe space for him, why would you choose him? But what I hear, and when I hear people that say, I have a woman that makes me feel safe, that makes me feel seen, that makes me feel heard, I understand why you'd be like, let me choose this person because I want to honor her in that way. Now, for me, when I think about marriage, there's a difference between marriage, which I think God has to be in the picture. And if it's not a God thing, I don't think marriage should even really exist, because God is the barometer, right? That's the integrity point. But I also think that a marriage license, if you're not a God-fearing person, that's solely in protection of the person that you met.
For sure.
And if you have a good person, then it's almost like, do you want to know my idea of marriage, of like the non-godly version? This is what I would say for people that are like, you meet a good person. I believe we should leave people off better than we found them. So the first 3 years, oh, wash your hands. You take what you had, I'm gonna take what I have, like we're good. 5 to 10 years in a prenuptial agreement, this is what it looks like for you. 10 to 15 years, this is what it should look like for you. 15 to 20 years, this is what it should look like for you. And 20 plus years, this is what it should look like. Why? Because when you have a good, solid, virtuous, feminine woman, innately, like I wish, and I say this all the time, I wish that I wasn't wired in a way to automatically seek my man's need first. I'm not wired that way. I wish that I could just be like, oh, forget about him. Immediately I go
Yo, Parasocial.
want to help me. Immediately I go into what can I do? Immediately I go into what does he need? Immediately I go into, I literally can read this man's mind because I'm studying him. I know when his breath changes. I know when he's upset. I know when he's pretending like he's not upset. And because I learn in that way, automatically that is a whole new level of capacity, because it's a human, which is going to take away from what it is that I'm building. And if I'm taking away from what it is that I'm building, which by the way is kind of awesome, but if I'm going to allow that to be diminished in a way, then why wouldn't a man want to say, you know what, I'm going to leave her better than I found her? Because there's no way that there's never been a man I've been with that hasn't grown while I'm with him. It's just not realistic.
They're gonna get into that. I'm looking at it in a little bit.
It's just not, it's not in their bank account, not in their mentality, not in their emotional state, not in their sense of freedom, not in their sense of self. That has never happened. Which I also, you know, not to just for clarity, I've never been broken up with, right? And so inside of these experiences, it's like, okay, well, maybe, just maybe, we need to stop looking.
She's never been broken up with. No surprise there. She's only done the broken up with. She's been engaged about 2 or 3 times. And she's broken up with all of them. No surprise, this woman is the one who breaks up with the men.
To date the people that just want the perception, that just want the dating experience, that just want the bags and the cars and the things, and look for the good woman who really wants to be your helpmate in a way that you would feel good. If you get married and it doesn't work out, that's human too. But if you're really locked in with God, I mean, we all change.
Man, you just threw an alley-oop to something that you know what my issue with marriage is?
Tell me.
Especially from the masses.
Please tell me.
Marriage, to me, is a godly thing.
Yes.
People are throwing marriage in front of people in a godly way, but they aren't godly.
Ooh, you preaching, Cal.
So in essence, you're speaking of a godly thing,
Yep.
but you're ungodly. So when
Which is why it doesn't work. It's why 2 out of 3 marriages end in divorce.
For sure. So when I say certain things like my fear of divorce is greater than my desire to get married, a person who's saying, but why you keep having all these kids? It's literally this. A person telling me to get married, first off, I'm going to cite the source. I'm going to look at your Instagram page. I'm going to look at your Twitter. I'm going to look at your TikTok. I'm going to look at all these different things. And I'm going to say to you, number one, are you a godly person? If you're not, I'm not going to take no type of criticism from a person that I wouldn't take advice from.
Period.
So for me, I'm looking at this godly talk of, man, God said, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. But God also said, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yeah.
So if you're not following those commandments, shut the fuck up.
I agree.
And get out my motherfucking comments.
I agree.
And keep all that shit to your motherfucking self.
Well, I follow those comments. I follow those. So.
Because ain't nobody sent for that bullshit. Because I need to tell people, like, bruh, listen, it goes one of two ways.
Yeah.
And the way that y'all going, I'm locked all the way in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the person who have jumped on a grenade of truth to say, okay, bro, okay, sis. Since y'all want to judge me,
Yeah.
y'all know all my bullshit.
Yeah.
Y'all know all my
Show me.
let's talk about you.
Yeah.
I don't want to go tit for tat.
Yeah.
So when I look at marriage, lastly for me, is you're talking about a godly thing, but the source is coming from an ungodly person.
But I also think it's important to make.
Also, the problem is that he's not being blunt. He's not being truthful. He says he want to get married. See, this is the thing where Cam's idiocy shows. Don't say you want to get married then. Don't say you want to get married. That's the problem where who cares what the other life of other people. People are not going on social media and saying, oh, I want to get married. Yet they have, I don't know, 4 baby moms. They're not doing that. You are. So yes, you can judge other people, but this is the thing. Other people aren't putting their shit on social media. This is where I hate the hypocrisy in that. Okay? The problem is not about other people judging you. It's about how you present yourself. I'm not on here saying that, oh, I want this way, but yet my life is different. No. Okay? He should be blunt. I don't want to get married. I want to have multiple baby mamas, whole bunch of kids, whole bunch of women. Great. Cool. Okay. That's the life you want. But you're the one who said you want to get married. You just don't want to get married to your baby mom that you're currently in a relationship with. So that's the thing. This is where, you know what, being truthful matters. It's like you like, I feel like sometimes he's probably like just what's saying. His audience is probably a lot women. So he wants to say the marriage stuff. He wants to say all these things, but just be blunt. Just be honest.
Mention that it's not only godly people that are in church. Because there's a lot of ungodly people that go to worship every Sunday and they live like Sodom and Gomorrah Monday through Saturday. And I think really and truly you got to look at the character and the integrity of a person, you know, and I agree with you because I've been engaged 2.5 times and because I thought that was the right thing to do. I'm supposed to get married. I'm supposed to have children and I'm not in a rush to do it wrong anymore.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Going back to what I should ask other sources or other beings, why should a person listen to you?
I've had experience. I could teach you what not to do. I could teach you what to do. I'm not teaching from theory. I'm teaching from been there. You know,
This is a thing where I hate these types of people. Okay, you teach from experience. I get that. I can do the same. I'm not charging people if I'm giving them fucking advice. That's the thing where I hate these gurus. These coaches, these dating coaches, these manifestation coaches, all these fucking coaches. you are essentially giving people advice from experience or because a logical take on something. Problem is you're charging them to give them advice. This is the thing where I will forever stand on. I will gladly, if ever any of my brothers ask for advice, I would freely give it because I care. I'm not out here trying to nickel and dime you for advice. So that's why it's like, who are you to just give advice over your life experience? Great that you have experience. Everyone has experience. But to be honest, the thing is that you don't have experience of success, not relationship success. That's definitely true. So really, yes, from what not to do, what to do, to be honest, women have shown, I said this, this is the most clearest, I think, idea I have. All women know not to have kids out of wedlock. All. Every single woman knows not to have kids out of marriage. Every single woman. Yet they do it. This knowledge, this idea has been passed down from generations, from other women that has experience. Yet we are still experiencing a high single mother epidemic. So to be honest, women giving advice to other women means it's meaningless. You're just making money off of foolish women. That's it. You're making money off of, I don't know, weak women. So I'm very distrusting of that.
I know what it's like to cry myself to sleep because I can't pay my rent. I got sued for $3,500 for living in an apartment, and out of living there for 4 years, I paid my rent twice on time. I know what it's like to have to choose between putting gas in my car or putting food in my fridge. I know what it's like, and all of those, I have these mantras that I live my life through. This is all a part of my story. Things go wrong so that life can go right. All things are happening for my good, even the bad, and most recently, especially in 2023, I was built for this, whatever this may be. And so because I have that mindset, because I have that grit, that perseverance, that resilience, you can't tell me no. Like, nobody can tell me that I haven't, forget the achievements. Yeah, I've done the things. I've helped thousands of people create 6- and 7-figure businesses. I've created 7-figure businesses myself. I've done so. That doesn't matter. Honestly, the only thing that I'm impressed by at this point is character. And you could take every single thing away from me that I have, the watches, the purses, the cars, the this, the that, and I'm still gonna be dope. Because my character, it's the God in me, really. That's why I think it's honest, it's truth, it's my truth. You never have to guess with me. There's no hidden agendas. It just is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. But all of it is good.
Right. I think in this world of identity, people can identify with anything.
Yeah.
If I was born a man but I identify as a woman, I can.
That's the thing where, honestly, that's how people make money nowadays. Preying on the foolish, the gullible, the naive. We have weak women, we have weak men, and even the supposedly strong women, they're weak too. So,
be a woman. Power to you.
Yeah.
But what I will say is this. If you identify as a doctor, if you identify as a person of prestige, what gives you the right to do it? Because you drunk a Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
Is it you read a Dr. Seuss book?
Yeah.
Is it you listen to Dr. Dre?
Yeah.
All these are also doctors.
Yeah.
And it goes with who you identify with.
Yeah.
So in this world of identity and high value, high function, submission, submissive, we have to start citing the source of the word.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, cool. All right. You say that, but what gives you the right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm on these days. And I don't necessarily want to disrespect you or disrespect anybody who has a platform to speak about certain things. But one of the things that you said that was extremely key, you have experiences. For me, I have experiences. And when I look at your platform, how did that process kind of happen for you to say, you know what, there's a need for that. It's Giving Podcast. Where did you come up with the whole look, feel, and coming up with the name?
To be honest, I fumbled into It's Giving. This is the third podcast that I've done, you know, and that's the first podcast, Bless That Man's Heart. I'm so grateful. That's why I'm in Atlanta. I was flying here for 10 days out of every month so we could batch shoot on a Wednesday and a Wednesday. So I would show up on a Tuesday, leave the following Thursday. And when I got here, I was like, yo, I could be going so much harder. And so I ended up moving to Atlanta. And as far as It's Giving goes, you know, people have different visions, and I accept that. People have different ideas for where it is that they want to go, and sometimes it's not in alignment with where it is that I want to go. And so no one is a bad person. No podcast is a bad podcast. Like you said, identify with what works for you, and I identified that me telling my truth and having guests that I want to have on my show was something that I was really excited about. And if other people weren't as excited, I love that for y'all. I'm gonna go over here and do this. And so it was actually a conversation I was having with my sister Lauren and her husband actually, and I was like, I really want to start this podcast, but I don't know what I'm gonna call it. And I was going to call it All the Things because I always say, oh, all the things. And we talk all the things on the podcast. And my brother-in-law was like, shout out to you, Kenton and Lauren. My brother-in-law was like, why don't you call it It's Giving? And I was like, wait, what? I actually really love that. So I checked for the trademark. I was like, oh my God, it's not trademark. And so, you know, did all the things and all the legal work and all the paper, but It's Giving is a lifestyle for me. Anyone that knows me knows when you come around me, you're literally and figuratively.
Okay.
Moments. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious to know if you care to share about, on your platform or conversations that you've probably had, what has been one of those kind of controversial kind of takes that you've had that you want to speak about?
There's two that come to mind. One is that most women want to be married, but they don't want to be a wife. Most women want to walk down the aisle and wear the pretty dress and say I have a husband and have the ring and start the family, but they hate that role. They hate it, and they hate the person that they chose because they didn't take the time to vet that person or really learn that person before they even committed to that person. And so to be a wife is different. To be a wife means you have staying power. To be a wife means you have vision. To be a wife means you're an orchestrator, right? And I think that that's the thing that a lot of women, our superpower is having the ability, like when you go to the orchestra or if you see the conductor right at the front, the back is turned. It's not about the conductor. It's about the music. The man is the music. Sometimes he's loud. Sometimes it's staccato. Sometimes it's growing. It's all of these different things. That is the man. The man is getting it done. He's making things happen. But the conductor is orchestrating. Oh, okay, this needs to go a little bit higher. Oh, this needs to come down here. It is the helpmate to you, but nobody else needs to see the conductor. Their back is turned. And so I think that it's important for women to understand that's our biggest opportunity inside of high value feminine, right? If that's what you want for your life, that's absolutely what I want for my life. And a lot of the people that hear what I have to say or what comes out of the podcast. And so that is a huge differentiation factor. I think that's gone viral. Another thing that went viral was talking about what do we bring to the table? What do I bring to the table? And I know that what I bring to the table is being able to assess what does the table need? Am I a fit for it? Can I get it? Or can I call Betty down the street? Hey, Betty, I need you to bring XYZ. Hey, Susan, can you bring the collard greens because I'm not going to be, the table will be full. Or the table's not for me. So it's not necessarily because people oftentimes are looking for specifically, what do you bring to the table? I've never even been asked that question, to be honest, because I mean, if you've experienced me, you wouldn't ask that question. Because if your back is, even with my girls, if your back is sore, I'm sending my masseuse to your house. Like I'm listening for the need. I'm telling you, Cam, I really wish I wasn't wired this way, but I'm wired this way. And so I can't help it. It's my mom's doing that. And then also talking about entitled modern women. You know, you can't dress like a hoe and expect respect.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
You just can't. You can't expect a man to pay for absolutely everything when you have no value to bring.
You said a lot right now, and I just,
Sorry.
No, I love it. I love it. I would always ask these questions. We're in Fellowship, my restaurant in Atlanta, and oftentimes when I'm here, I love to have open discussion about this. When men or women are in this establishment, I would ask both, but since I'm sitting across a woman, I'll ask you this.
Here's the thing. I've seen some of her content. She does make sense. I'm not saying she doesn't. Problem is, and here's the insanity. She says a lot of things that what men say, logical things. The problem is that she doesn't live a logical life herself. I said it, a decent looking woman. She's not married. She doesn't have anyone like that. So yes, it's great that she's logical, but I think within herself, her relationship, who she's attracted to, the men she wants, the men she's attracted to, it don't fit the logic. Because I think, although these women say a lot of beautiful things, they still fall into the trap of being a woman. That's the problem. A lot of these women say amazing shit. They say a whole lot of good shit because they're logical. They use a lot of the takes that men say, but they still fall into the trap of being a woman. I.e., I want the high value men that, you know what, not monogamous, not faithful, not probably toxic, probably not narcissistic, whatever. That's the problem. I see this often. I've seen this often. That doesn't mean that women aren't logical, right? When they say shit, when they're giving advice or whatever, when they say shit, yes, they can be logical, but they can't take their own advice. They can't do what is logical. Pick the good man, right? Yeah, he may not be 6 foot, but he's faithful. He may not be a millionaire, but you know what? He works hard. He has a job that he's working hard in. He's financially stable, financially literate. He's financially conscious. But he's not a millionaire. He may not be like fit or athletic body, but you know what? He treats you like a queen. He respects you. He loves you. That's the thing where a lot of women fall short on, because they want the superficiality, right? Sit over 6 foot, good looking body, wealthy. Well then, again, most women want that man. And that man has a lot of options. So can you be surprised that that type of man is unfaithful?
In this way, a lot of times that question is, do you want to be married because you want a husband, or do you want to be a wife? It's two different things.
Completely different.
A lot of times, I want God to send me my man and Prince and shining armor. Ooh. Expecting an alpha man and expecting a man to lead and not listening to him is diabolically egregious.
I agree.
It's like, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to lead us, babe. But I'm saying, go right, go right, go right, go right, go right, and you're turning left. Those are the things where I'm saying that's the fuck shit that we have to hold each other accountable to that. And also to the man, bro, stop doing sucker shit.
What is the definition of that?
Sucker shit is just like, bro, keep it a big buck.
Okay.
All the time.
Yeah.
And you can't do whole shit expecting Prince praise.
Oh, I agree. I also think that a knight in shining armor is such a stupid fallacy that they've sold to women. I actually don't want a knight in shining armor. I need my man to be burnt up a little bit. I need the dings and the dents. I need it because then he's battle tested. Yeah. You don't want something that just looks the part. You need something that's been through it. You need the experience of it. You need the person that's done enough work on themselves to own their truth, to be able to even tell you the truth, to be able to be honest with themselves, because nobody lies more than we do to ourselves. Nobody. So I agree with you. I think that most women, and me included, which is why I said yes twice, right? I have been taught to be a wife, or no, to be married. Now, I'm grateful my parents raised me to be a wife. So I am a wife, I'm just not married. You know, a man who finds a wife finds a good thing. I know that. It's just a matter of, will I be a married wife?
The thing, or there.
You know, this is something that I always like to process and bring up. She said yes twice. This is a thing where I question women's integrity. Because you gotta think. She didn't say yes twice to men she was in a relationship with for a month. Usually, engagements, the process is that you've been with the man for a year, 2 years, 3 years. And then you said, no, then you get engaged and shit like that. So you said yes twice, yet you broke up with these two men twice. You broke up with these two men both times. These two different men both times. This is why, logically thinking, she chose shitty men. Men that she can't see a future with. Yet! She chose men that she can't see a future with. Yet! It was cool for her to be in the relationship for however long it was, and then say yes to an engagement that later on she realized, you know what? I don't see a future with this man. So in my honest opinion, being a good wife is actually choosing a good husband as well. So already there, I question her I'm a good wife thing. Because you're faulty where you couldn't choose a good man to lead. You couldn't choose a good husband. So
It's an era
Yo,
that's slowly
Alvy.
dying off.
Yeah.
thank you for stopping by, bro. Always love it when you stop by.
And that era I'm talking about is entitled women and men who just feel like their beauty is enough.
Whew, can't stand them, Cam.
Like, real talk. Like a woman's beauty is something that is the cherry on top.
Yeah.
It's not the cake.
You sound like my mom.
Like, real talk.
I know.
Because there's so much that if you're the conductor, I love, that was beautifully said.
Thank you.
If you're the conductor and you're orchestrating a symphony and you realize certain things that you're like, okay, I'm not hearing this over here. Let me raise this up over there. By experiencing that, it's not always about giving, but more or less by understanding. So being an efficient conductor, it's not necessarily about giving, but also about understanding how to bring out the best in certain things.
Yes.
And the real symphonies
Yes.
in this particular manner,
Yes.
going back to the example of the yacht and realizing like, if I'm being 100, baby, this is the situation that's, okay, cool. A real symphony gonna say, all right, what y'all need?
Right.
Naturally. And don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Boom, I appreciate that, babe, but cool. I'm going, let me know what you need, and it's already done like that. How my brain works, I have partnered in my weaknesses and I've played to my strengths. I'm an alpha. My girl taught me that. Like, what she is, I'm not. I don't like emotions. I don't give a fuck about a motherfucking emotion. I think that's the business side in me. But that don't mean I'm not caring.
Yeah.
I love hard. So if you're saying, baby, I want to do this and I want to do that, my thing is like, okay, how do we get there? And I don't get distracted about how it's going to come off or how it's going to come across. I'm more focused on, you said you want to get here. Baby, I'm taking us there. Now, you know, whether I'm yanking you or I'm pushing you to that point, it's your job to say, hold on, baby, hold on. Not this, but I'm saying, okay, cool. If you're saying you want to hear more of the this or you want to hear more of that, I'm going to take that into consideration. So all in all, we're at a point in society where it's like, find what's good for you.
Yeah.
When you're judging other sources,
Yep.
that may not be what's good for you.
Absolutely.
So just hush.
yeah.
But I'll say this though. You said you're a wife, but you're not married.
Yeah.
My thing is, it's like being who you are,
Yes.
being how you look,
Yeah.
being what you bring to the table. Why haven't you found a man?
I found multiple, but that doesn't mean that they're the right ones for me.
How do you identify what's right for you? and
By
what's not?
taking the time to actually learn someone. This is another thing, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it because we keep it funky.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So I honestly feel like women, we have this way of, and this was me in my past experiences as well, where I like someone and immediately I'm exclusive to that person. You are my person, you are it, and I'm not even sleeping with this person yet.
Yo, just I was about to say something too. That's like I found multiple is like so unbelievable.
Still in the get to know phase, and well, now I'm abstinent, to be completely honest. I'm abstinent inside of dating, but in my past, where I was like, okay, I'm exclusive to this person, it's just me and this person, while they're still exercising their options, right? Ultimately, did I get chosen? Yeah, okay, but I would have minimized time had I chosen to get to know multiple people at a time. Now, that doesn't mean sleep with multiple people at a time. Even now, I'm getting to know multiple people at a time, but I'm preserving my body for who is mine. Because if we sleep with every single person, that's another thing. You cannot, I don't care what anybody says, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. I just don't believe that you can.
You can't.
I don't think you can. And the reason why I say that is unless they move. If you're in a new state, that hoe can absolutely be a housewife. But if you got to look face to face with the men that your girl has been smashed by,
You're moving the goalposts.
I'm just saying.
You're moving the goalposts.
Look,
'Cause
the
you-
world of successful men is very small.
Yeah.
If you are in the world of successful men, odds are, let's say 40% of them.
Yeah.
A lot of times, a lot of the successful men go to the same kind of events. So certain women that date certain types of men, you can't, if she hoed around in that, you're writing yourself off of the entire circle the second that you've slept with multiple people. Now, if you're a down low hoe and nobody really knows about it, maybe you could get away with some stuff. But most times that's not the case. So I personally feel like It's important for women to preserve their bodies through the dating phase. Dating means getting to know someone. That does not mean I'm gonna sleep with you, because then what happens? Now I have feelings for you, because then what happens? Now all of a sudden I'm either in a relationship or a situationship, Lord forbid, and then what happens? Let's move in together, and then what happens? We have a baby, and then what happens? There's no commitment. That's what happens and for most people. And there is no right or wrong way. I'm not saying that one way is more correct than the other. I'm speaking about what I desire. And a lot of the women that come to my platform want high value, high earning, masculine men. You cannot be a hoe, number one. You cannot dress a certain way. That's another thing. Women.
First of all, she said a lot of shit. She said a lot of women that comes to her platform, i.e. probably seeks her for advice, wants high value men, high earning men. That's the thing, like I constantly say, this is why men with money rarely, if ever, are actually monogamous. Because from your 1s to your 10, all these women want that type of man. Man with money. It doesn't matter if you're a 1, doesn't matter if you're 10. Every woman in between wants that man. Wants these rare men. This is the thing. Men that makes over 100K is already rare. That's about, what, 10% of the population. Men that makes, what, 500K? That is like under 1% of the population. Women want these rare men. A lot of women want these rare men. How? This is why I think it's like an unspoken rule. How can you think that these men will be monogamous? And I think a woman like this, as good looking as she is, will probably suffer from that. Because honestly, it is almost, I'm not saying it's impossible, but almost impossible for women of this caliber, good looking, most likely she makes great money, to date a man that makes less than her. Almost impossible. So she most likely is suffering from that kind of shit, where she has, and I've seen this countless times, women have made such a successful financial life where they cannot date anyone in a lower tax bracket. So since women are doing better than ever, almost all these women are sharing the same type of men. Plain and simple. No wonder Cam Newton is a baby daddy to many women. No wonder the futures of the world are baby daddies to multiple women. No wonder the Nick Cannons are the baby daddy to multiple women. It's just how it is. It's like an unspoken rule where if you have enough money, women will gladly be a baby mama to you.
Try to say, oh, he's controlling me because he doesn't want me to wear XYZ. No, you should respect that man enough not to put him in danger, realistically speaking. Because if you're too sexy and another man steps you, what now he's gotta say something. And if he doesn't say something, now he's not a man. You don't want no high value masculine man because now you're putting him in danger, and that's a problem. Girls are twisted out here. It's delusion. It's giving delusion.
The Lululemon.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Yes.
But I will tell you this.
You about to tell me about a hoe into a housewife?
You can't turn a hoe into a house.
Go back to why she can't find a man. I want to get through that.
No, you can't.
A lot of women who are married are previous hoes.
They had to move, Cam.
No.
I'm telling you, you can't be in the same city.
Listen, and this is...
I hate that we skipped over that question. She barely answered that. I don't even think she really answered it.
going to be the part that goes viral.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Because if you want to go wife for wife, girlfriend for girlfriend,
yes,
she's been with somebody and have hoed for somebody.
For somebody, not somebody's. She's not getting smashed by the community.
You're changing the goal.
Okay, so what is the definition of a hoe?
A hoe is what you're willing to do in a sexual act that is something that if you knew,
yes,
or somebody knew what you're capable of,
yeah,
a hoe at all times is not a bad thing.
Okay, I agree with you.
So when you're saying
wait,
hoe,
can I add
it's like
clarity?
you've had multiple partners.
Yes. Being
So
promiscuous with multiple partners.
You're about to tell me
yes,
that every wife has only been promiscuous with one person.
No, I'm not going to say that. But there's a difference, Cam. There's a difference between getting smashed by multiple men throughout the year My mother always said, don't be a hoe 6 months at a time. I said, Mom, what does that mean? She says, you're going to meet a guy, you're going to like a guy, you're going to catch feelings.
Here, let me kind of my little 2 cents with the whole thing. I think if you are in your 20s as a woman, if you had more than, in my opinion, 15 sexual partners in your 20s, you're a hoe. You're a hoe. If you're in your 30s and you have more than, let's say, 20 sexual partners, you're a hoe. So it is in this reality. Yes, women that have a few bodies, it's not the biggest deal, but like there's a certain amount where you've had quite a lot of bodies, right? So it's okay to have experience, but there's an amount of experience where it don't pay off.
For this guy, and then let's say you guys start sleeping together. 6 months, you decide you don't like each other. Boom, you're on to the next guy. Now, in a year, you slept with 2 people. So let's say you slept with 2 people. You started 20. You moved. By the time you're 35, you slept with 30 men. Yeah. That's a lot of people. Now, I'm not even going to say in 2024. That's probably not even considered a hoe.
Hold on, can I stop there?
Yeah.
There's a lot of women who are delusional to their body count. If we're honest, about how many sexual partners that you've had,
Me specifically.
But listen.
Nah.
Can somebody pull out a calculator?
I just did the math.
No, I have not. I need assistance. So if you start having sex.
Yes, he does. He needs assistance.
At the age of 16.
Fair.
Right?
Fair.
And you normally would say, hey, I've met 2 people.
A year.
And you're now 36.
That's 20 years. That's 40 people.
A lot of women ain't gonna say I've slept with.
I hope they haven't slept with 40 people.
Come on,
That's
bro.
why you shouldn't be a hoe 6 months at a time, Kim.
Yes.
But get this. Now get this. In the world of small circles, in the world where the group of successful men is so small. Now let's also be clear. Would you agree that most successful men, when they're in their hoe phase, sleep with the same hoes? It's a keep it a buck. We keep it funky. We keep it funky.
Please.
So if that's the case, if you are the woman that is saying no.
To the point that I'm making,
Yeah.
A lot of women are lying and delusion, and they're not keeping it a big buck, or as we say, not keeping it funky, with the amount of casual sexual partners that they have had.
And that's the problem.
Oh, now the voice is off synced.
Let's take it back to the root. I agree with you. Women are absolutely lying out here. But I think the reason why is because, number one, in 2024, a lot of men don't want to commit, and women feel like guilted into having sex. Oh, I've gone out on a couple dates. Oh, I've done this. Maybe I.
That's a lie. Not that a lot of men don't want to commit. It's a lot of the men that women choose don't want to commit. Again, women predominantly choose men with options. Is it insane to think that men with options don't want to commit? No, not just men with options, men with a lot of options. I'm not talking about men that men don't like men with 0 options. No, I'm talking about men with a lot of options. Why would they want to commit? High value men. Why the hell would those men want to commit? The Chads, the players. Why would those men want to commit? They're players. They have a lot of options.
I should give him some. Or maybe you should just get to know the person. Instead of going on these big elaborate trips and restaurant dinners and whatever, go get a smoothie. Go for a freaking walk. Feed the geese. I don't care what it is. Stop spending all this money. Stop having all this money spent on you so you won't feel like you owe somebody something. Because if you want a return on the investment, I understand that. And that's the problem. Women are over here with nothing to offer except for their body, which is why they're okay with casually sleeping with people. But that, you cannot, look, I don't care. I know my friends and I know the circle. And I'm talking about men. I know my high value, high earning, masculine male friends. Some are married, some are in relationships, some are single. I'm telling you, and I'm sure that you can relate. If the same girl got smashed by all his boys or ones that he sees on the regular, that's not the girl he wifes. Most times.
You're moving the goalpost.
I'm not. I've been saying the same thing.
Okay. You said
Yes.
in this last example,
Yes.
smashed by multiple partners, like of his partners.
People that he sees, the circle is small.
Understand this, though.
Yes, tell
what
me.
I'm saying. When you get with somebody,
Yes.
thinking or expecting that person does not have a past with multiple partners.
Yeah, that's delusion.
You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
To not think, hold up, that the girl who's attractive, you think you just done found this needle in a haystack, and to not think that she's been fucked on by a person that you may know,
Yeah.
whether that's your partner
Yeah.
or that's somebody that you say, damn, bro, damn. That's what we call men being a part of the him too movement. Him too?
Dang, Kim.
Him too? Him too? See, I may be too real for y'all.
No, I hear you. I can't relate.
Because me and mine,
Yeah, y'all been around.
we been around the world. Up there is where you
Well,
will
you know
see
what,
both
though?
of our thought jerseys.
So let me tell you, Cam, you wanna know the difference? The difference is most men, even in the successful circle, have not been with as many women as you've been with. And also, let's take it even further. Most men that are in the successful circle have not been with as many women that you've been with that are top tier, beautiful women. Most men are not Cam Newton. Let me be clear.
Thank you.
So now that we're clear on that, your girlfriend, stunning. I don't know anything about her. Stunning, seems solid. So of course a man is gonna wanna take her down. Now the thing that probably makes you okay with choosing somebody that might have a number that's high is the fact that you've been there too. So your level of understanding is
You know why he's okay with choosing women that has a high number? He doesn't give a shit about her. He doesn't give a shit about her. Again, Cam Newton is the type of man that is fine with using women's body, impregnating them, and that's it. He's fine with that. He's fine with impregnating multiple women. It's no difference than the Nick Cannons, the futures of the world. They don't give a shit if these women that they are impregnating, that they are having sex with, have had sex with hundreds of men. Because what does it mean? Because he's going to still have sex with other women. So, and he's not going to commit to any one of these women. So, no duh that this type of man don't care about these women's body counts. He doesn't care. Sorry. He doesn't give a shit about these women's body counts because he does not want to commit to a single one of them. And he's shown it through his past.
different from most people's, because once a mind is stretched to a new dimension, it can never go back to its former state. What do you look like saying, I need to be with a virgin? I need to be, for what? You don't need that. You need somebody with a little bit of experience.
Which goes to the point I can turn a hoe into a housewife.
Oh, well, you gotta marry.
Oh, you just sit up here and play right into
maybe, maybe you.
To that point that you just said.
Yes.
Virgin, me, I don't want to have to teach you nothing.
I
Daniel,
know that.
I just don't want to ask the question, damn, who taught you that? I'm just happy that it's mine. Thank you. You proved my point.
No.
And to another
but
point.
you are an exception, Cam. That's the difference.
Okay.
Most men are not on your sexual.
But I'm going to tell you this.
He has multiple baby mamas. None of them are housewives.
Yeah.
Most men
Yes.
who are high value, high functioning,
Yes.
they don't give a fuck about the niggas that they done.
It
But
depends.
listen, because this is the reality.
Yes.
When I say I can turn a hoe into a housewife,
Yeah.
it's if that hoe who has had multiple sexual partners,
Yeah.
casual sex,
Yes.
if I feel in my heart of hearts that that's mine, that's where we can cook with some damn grease and some oil. Because now I'm gonna say, hold on, baby, you mind? I'm gonna show you how to move. Now I can invest in you mentally, intellectually, sexually, and I can pour into you and tell you how a man thinks.
Yes.
Now, oftentimes people are gonna say, oh, I'm good, you can have that, sis. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna use a real reality in my life.
Okay.
Just because a man will fuck you doesn't mean he will fuck with you.
I agree.
Understand this.
Yes.
When you decide as a woman that you're going to
You know how you can disprove this fool's words? Put your money where your mouth is. Marry them. Risk it. You don't care that these women have such high body counts. These hoes, right? You don't care. Risk it. Put your money where your mouth is. Marry them. No prenup. Let's see how you made these hoes into housewives. Or because you don't want to marry them, you don't mind saying all the crap you want to say. Because you don't care if you're still with any of these women. Because again, this is a man that has multiple baby mamas. None of them is a housewife to him. They are baby mamas, but not a housewife.
partake in a casual encounter, that man that you were exclusive to now is under the impression that you're no longer the recipient of my benefits. That person that you've decided to have casual sex with, now you have to get rewarded by his benefits. Is it fair? Hold on. Is it fair? No, but this is the double standard. I said earlier in this whole sit down, a woman protects her body. A man protects his pockets. So if you're not willing to protect your body, it sounds so crazy and so tangible, and somebody's gonna see this and they're gonna say, what the fuck? Who the fuck does he think he is? I'm just keeping it a buck. But if you decide, oh, two can play this game, cool. Get his benefits since you don't want to deal with my bullshit.
Yeah, I feel like all the women that are having casual sexual encounters are destroying the sexual market. And what I mean by that is because sex is so easy to get now, men damn near expect it on date number one. And so when you do hold out, there can feel like there's a little bit of pressure to be like, no. But I really, in my heart of hearts, because it is a double standard, Cam, now you just proved my point. We as women do not get to have the same rules as men. And I don't care what anybody says. It's a man's world. It just is what it is. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it funky. And as long as women keep going out here and sleeping with anything because you went to a nice restaurant.
You know, I really hate this saying it's a man's world. It really isn't. It's top tier man's world, right? Because the things that he experienced, most men don't. It's not a man's world. To be honest, power structure, top tier men, women, average men. That's the power structure. It's top tier men, women, average men. So, and top tier men is very small. So it's not a man's world. It's very few.
Like, that's how cheap a woman's body is. You took me to a dinner, now you deserve my body. What in the world are we even dealing with?
And I'm gonna tell you something too. This is where that experience has to get exposed.
Don't assume I'm your girl. And I'm not gonna assume you're my man. If you're outside, be outside, and that's fine. But when you start cutting off the fun girls, when you start cutting off the experiences, I know you're more serious about me. And then when you do fully cut off other options, ask me to be your girlfriend. My answer is yes, if we've invested that much time and experience in getting to know one another. But I also think that goes back to the expectations inside of dating. I don't expect a man to bring me nowhere, really. Let's go grab a smoothie. I kid you not.
Can I stop you right there?
Yes.
Whether we go grab a smoothie, some green tea,
Yes.
caviar, Chardonnay,
Okay.
or walk in the park.
Okay.
That don't matter
No.
in regards to how what a man's intentions are.
No, and that's the point.
Okay.
Because only through experience can you learn his intentions.
Okay.
Only through experience can I see, do I even like you for real? Only through experience am I like, oh my God, we have some alignment here. But if you're just bringing me places and you're trying to blind me because of the experience that's so great, you're not fooling anybody, especially not me.
But that's where you need a man
Yes.
to empower you,
Yes.
sis, homegirl, to let you know, like, all he's doing is buying time
Yes.
until you give him an opportunity. And like I always say, you give a nigga like me an opportunity, and I'm gonna knock that shit out the fucking park. But also understand,
Yes.
me being a man,
Yes.
I empower my woman.
I'm telling you right now, they've had a long-term girlfriend and they fumbled her. I'm trying to tell you the
Why
real.
they gotta be fumbled? Like, why they gotta fumble the girl?
Because this is the thing. Most high-value, high-earning men have the best of the best options. Let's just be clear.
Yeah.
So if you have the best of the best options and you choose to be exclusive with one, she's probably a great woman. She's probably beautiful, she's probably feminine, she's probably helpful, she's probably loving and nurturing and caring and all of those things. So as a high-value, high-earning masculine man, maybe you're too busy in your purpose and so you're not giving her the time that she wants. Maybe she feels emotionally neglected. Maybe she's not okay with the man stepping out as much as he really wants to step out. Whatever it could possibly be. And so she walks away. She says, you know what? I could do this with somebody else. And she leaves that relationship. That was a good woman that he fumbled because he wasn't ready for it. And this is the thing that we have to understand. When you come in terms with high value, high earning masculine or high value feminine, the thing about it is if you give a starving African orphan a diamond, the most rare diamond that you've ever seen, and you're like, here, I'm gonna change your life. Or you give him the option of having a piece of bread when he hasn't had a meal in 7 days. He will absolutely throw the diamond and eat the bread because he doesn't see the value in it. He doesn't know what to do with it. He doesn't have the connections to do anything with it, really. So it's also, we have to remember that value is subjective to whoever is looking at it. But what I know is, because I have a lot of good men, high earning, high value, masculine men in my life, and what I know is most of them that are still single have fumbled a good woman. So by that time, which brings it back to why I date older men, I don't want to be the girl that gets fumbled. And maybe there'll be a young man that can make me like, yeah, I'm so happy. But if that doesn't happen, I wouldn't be surprised.
Can I talk now?
Yes, of course you can.
I don't like how it was just one track scenario.
Say that in a different way.
I don't like how you just made it where all high value men fumble a good woman because of their infidelity.
No, it's not just infidelity.
Hold up.
Okay.
Because what about staying power?
Yes.
Like you mentioned.
Yes.
That man that you left was an 80% to 90% good man. The 10%
Yes.
that you said, oh, I can do bad all by myself, was something that you left prematurely.
It's true.
Maybe he was wanting you to help him through that storm.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm
Yo, Skull, thank you for stopping by, bro.
saying too soon. Because a high valued man understands when he's fucking up. A high valued man knows, okay, this is what's happening. And over time, I've had a lot of damage that I put into this relationship. And when it's time to figure this out, baby, let's figure this out. Sometimes they figure it out way too late. But for those who do, when you think about the 30-year relationships, the 40-year relationships, the 50 and the 60 and the 70 plus relationships, you don't think that that woman, or don't think that that man got put into a situation that at one point in time of their life, they said, oh, that's a non-negotiable. I'm going to leave if you do that.
Of course.
So I'm saying to you, Dr. Sarah,
Yes.
if that happens,
Yeah.
the staying power is the ball is in your court for you to say, is this worth me staying?
And that's the question that only that person knows in the relationship. So just for context, I'm not saying that women don't also fumble good men.
Okay.
I'm not saying that.
That's all
I'm not saying it's a one-way street. I'm just saying for a lot of high value, high earning masculine men, because we have to remember that we're all duped from our childhood. People are always saying, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be? Well, what is great, but who is better? Because what is connected to achievement, whereas who is connected to fulfillment? So you have to think in a society that puts all of the focus and the emphasis on how much money a man makes, most times he's more focused on what he does instead of who he's being, which means sometimes that comes with emotional neglect. Sometimes that comes with he just doesn't have the emotional capacity for you in that moment. Sometimes it comes with emotional shutdown, right? Whatever it could possibly be. And so I'm just speaking from a female's perspective because I know what I've personally experienced. I also know what I've personally walked away from, right? And it wasn't infidelity for me it wasn't infidelity for me in the relationship that I'm thinking about, but it was still a level of we're not in alignment. What you want and what I want are different. Our timelines are different. Our expectation is different. The things are different, and that's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you unworthy of love. It doesn't make you non-deserving. It just means you and I may not be a fit.
Can I speak about certain things
Yeah,
and use personal experiences?
of
if you don't
course.
mind? And I think I speak for a lot of men here. A high-value man has never been with a woman that he couldn't get back.
Nah, that's not true.
Understand this. If a high-value man wants you back, he will get you back. Listen to me when
Okay, whatever.
it's, oh, I love you, but you're not for me for my greater vision
Yeah.
of what I want for myself.
Yes.
If you were, trust and believe, I'm going to get you back.
Yeah.
But while I'm healing, understand this. While I have healed, stepped away and start to see things from a perspective like, I was wrong. I could have did that better. Damn, that was fucked up. I got to be better with that. When I realized going back into that situation and saying, is this the person that I really want to build with? And in my cases, it was nah. Because while I was in that field, I found a diamond.
Right.
And that diamond is propelling me forward.
Right.
Not vacuuming me in.
Right.
Back into the same situation.
Yeah.
So oftentimes in a man of high value, you can find yourself in a situation where it's like, okay, you can get yours off. You can say whatever you want to say, and you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But baby, if I really wanted you back, you know that I know, that we all know, you know where home at.
I love that for you. I can't relate.
But that's my
Yeah, that's your
reality.
truth. Yeah.
And yours may be
Completely different. And that's okay.
So-
I feel like my exes have tried to get me back. And I'm like, no, thank you so much. I love you and I appreciate you, but I can love you from afar. Because here's another thing too. And you kind of just spoke on it. Once you go out and you heal, you're raising your value, right? You're changing who you are. You're transforming into better. So if you go back and that person hasn't done any work, now you're backstepping. And I don't want to do that. So even for my exes that, you know, I've walked away and they're like, no, please come back. I don't want to go back because there's already too much of a, and I don't want to say one is better or worse. It's just different worlds. It's too much of a difference for me. And I still want to keep growing and you want to stay right here. There's no space. When you say breaking point, what do you mean?
Like, what made you feel like, okay, it's not healthy here no more, or I'm not growing here no more, I need to go?
For me, it wasn't, I've always chosen men that want to grow. I've always chosen men that wanted to evolve. So it's never been that as a breaking point, but it's literally been, you don't fundamentally want what I want. And that's okay. But I want what I want. And I want somebody that wants the same thing so I can recklessly submit to whatever it is that you have for our lives. If you want to drive to New York and I think we're going to LA, it's going to be a problem, right? So for me, fundamentally, I want to recklessly trust my man. And I feel like in my past experience has been from the beginning, I'm like, oh, once we decide, it's like, you be my friend, be my friend, be my friend. We go together. Once we go together, it's all the love, all the trust, all the, like, it's like a whole just new portal of me is open.
But I understand this though. And I just want to speak about something about guys that you attract. Older men, established financially men.
Oh, for sure. And younger, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah. They had a phase in their life where they're used to a certain type of something.
Yeah.
So how long are you willing to allow him to flush that out? Because an established man, we didn't go over this, but you can finish the statement. You can't teach an old dog
new tricks.
So an old dog, 45 plus, you're not about to sit up here and teach him something that...
No, I'm not, but I'm going to let him have his fun. Because this is the thing about me. I've never not been chosen once I choose. It's never happened to me. So I don't, and maybe that's my problem, that I haven't had that experience, but my experience has been who I want wants me back. So inside of that, men, and it's kind of like my parents. Honestly, my dad, 6'8", light skin, freckles, the man. My dad was the man. My mom, stunning, beautiful, curvy. Didn't know, she really was the smart girl. She was like the nerd. And my dad was like cool, Rico Suave. My dad was a hoe. Slept with everything, everybody, and they laugh about it. Now it's a joke. And my mom said, you could be my friend. And my dad thought that she was joking. My dad said, okay, yeah, sure. Well, months go by and she's still just his friend. So now he starts lying. My mom, she literally just told this story on my podcast. My dad starts lying. Oh, well, there's a girl at my house and I don't know why. And my mom's like,
women like this cannot be humbled.
Why are you lying? I'm your friend. Like, you don't have to lie to me. So they created a contract and for themselves that they'll always be best friends. I say all of that to say, slowly but surely, my dad started cutting off everybody. Because once you see the value over here, once you're out of that phase, it's not a question. If what you want is in alignment with what I want, then why wouldn't we go together?
But you said something about what you want wants you.
Yeah.
You're a pretty being.
Thanks.
Gorgeous, attractive.
Thanks.
Any man will want to align with that.
And that's where you have to vet.
But while you're vetting, understanding, going through that vetting process, the person that you want as the woman, vetting the man with 60 million, 6 million, 600,000, fine. Understanding that his triggers or his baggage is also something that needs to go into consideration.
For sure.
Because the delusion in a relationship that you think that you're about to change a man who was once a hoe, who was once a womanizer, who was once a person who had these things at his disposal, by merely being with you, that does not change.
No, it doesn't change. But this is what I'm saying. Get it out of be my friend. Sleep with whoever you want to sleep with, because you're not going to be sleeping with me. Now, that's not to say, okay, maybe we could kiss, we could cuddle, we can sleep over.
Okay, stop.
I'm talking about when we're dating, when we're way more serious. Listen, Cam, let me tell you, and then you can big bro me. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, so if we get into a space where I choose you and you choose me, while you are sleeping with other women, I'm not sleeping with you. That's all there really is to it.
Okay, but understand this.
Yes.
We grown as fuck.
That doesn't matter.
Hold on. If you come to my house, or we're in a position of intimacy, and you've already laid the foundation
of I'm abstinent.
That's cool.
Yes.
I'm not about to play with myself. I'm not going to cuddle with you.
Okay.
I'm not about to kiss you.
Okay.
And even courting to a degree where it's like, okay, I'm going to open up the door and I'm going to do those fundamental things. But I'm not going to trigger myself. I'm not going to play that game.
I hear you.
Because when you're talking to a man who has a lot, who's been through certain situations, I'm not going to play this childish game. I don't kiss. I do not kiss to cuddle.
I hear you, Cam. I just know
You see what I'm saying?
there's men on your level that do.
Duh.
I'm telling you right
Tell you
now.
something. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just being as honest as I know how.
I know.
I'm not the dude that's going to pressure you by no means of that. So the big bro in me is going to tell you, if you're saying that you set that line
Yes.
in the sand and you're saying
Yes.
you're not fucking me, you can keep fucking all them other chicks
Yeah.
while I'm fucking all those other chicks.
Yeah.
When I finally do fuck you or have sex with you, what the hell do you think happens to those other chicks?
What do you mean? They're no longer there.
How though? But how long? Do you think it just snaps
No,
like
I
just?
don't. I think it's months. I think it's literal months of getting to know a person. It could be a year of getting to know a
Do
person.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like you have allowed a man to come into your life and you're saying,
Yes.
hey, we're gonna be friends.
Okay, I'm talking about after the friend point.
That's cool.
When I choose, you choose me. Okay, we kiss, that's fine. Okay, we cuddle, that's fine.
Understand.
Yes.
But this
because I
is
don't
the-
kiss my friends. I just want to put that out there.
Understand. So I want to make this abundantly clear because you're also guilty in being an accomplice of the monster.
Probably.
Hear me out. So if you're allowing a person to say,
I think talking to Cam makes the conversation weird.
Yes.
if you're not going to be exclusive to me or with me,
Yes.
keep exploring those options.
Yeah.
While that is happening,
Yes.
and he also is sleeping with other women,
Yes.
do you understand the monster that you're creating? That while he's getting to know you
Yeah.
and fucking other women,
Yeah.
when he finally does have sex with you as the woman, how long or how realistic do you think a man is going to instantly say, okay, I'm official with Dr. Sarah, now I'm going to be exclusive with her, especially if he's also emotionally attached to something that you gave him a green light to do?
So this is the thing, because I don't want it to come across like I'm saying, you're my friend today, and next week we decide we're exclusive, and now we go together. What I'm saying is there's a vetting process that needs to happen. And I can't say how long the process is because every person is different, right? Sorry, I'm Canadian, I say process. So inside of that, if it takes a month, 6 months, or a year while I'm getting to know this person. Now, this is the thing too, because I have to protect myself. I am a woman, which means I am emotional, which means I will fall in love, okay? Then you add sex to the combination, I'm a slave at this point. Now I'm literally yours at this point, right? So for me, it's not gonna be I'm hanging out with you every single day. It's not gonna be we're talking on the phone every single day. It's not going to be those things. It's do we even like each other? Do we get along? When we start, and inside of this, there's conversations. Is this what you still want? Do you want to still be outside?
After,
Are you ready?
after the sex?
No. Way before the sex. Because I'm not
this
going to
is
set
during-
myself up for failure. This is during friendship. Friendship means I'm getting to know you. We're hanging out. And it's not going to be all the time, because then what happens, Cam? What happens? Familiarity breeds contempt. Now you're used to me. It's like this, oh, okay, well, that's just Sarah being Sarah. I'm not going to let you just, that's Sarah being Sarah in me. That's not going to happen. But what I am going to do, I'm going to show you glimpses. This is a glimpse. This is who I am. Do you like it? Do you not? This is how we have fun. This is how we don't. This is how we talk. This is how we this. This is how we that. We're friends. I'm not blurring any lines. Once it becomes, oh, I kind of like this person. Okay, I'm not gonna say I haven't kissed a man that I liked. That he's not in my friend zone. He's just being friends first, right? So when that happens, I don't even have to ask, to be honest. Most time, after a certain period of time, this man is already deading off. There is no more useless casual sex, let's just say that. But he might have a few women that he's got to choose between. He's got the ones that he likes, and I'm in the running of the ones that he likes. Let's see how this goes. But I've never not been chosen. It has never happened to me.
I'm not saying, that's not my argument. You are beautiful.
Thank you for
saying
saying that.
So of course a man is going to choose you.
No, because the other women are beautiful too.
But understand, a man
Yes.
will have multiple women
Yes.
in a fuck zone
Yes,
and will never see the light of day.
I don't agree.
Oh my God, I'm
I just
giving you
don't.
my reality.
You are Cam Newton.
I'm trying to so,
you are
so,
in the 1% of the 1%. You cannot put your
But
reality on all men.
I'm not saying that, but
Yes.
if you're talking about high valued men,
Yes.
I'm talking to the men who can relate to what I'm saying.
Yes.
You have been an accomplice of the monster
Okay.
that you have created. If you're allowing me, like let's just say, and I'm being respectful, I'm just trying to give you a realistic example.
Okay.
Me and you start dating.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you say, hey, Cam, I know exactly who you are. Make no mistake about it. I'm not an easy catch.
Yeah.
So if you want to be my friend, let's date.
Yeah.
But what comes with that dating is no sex.
Yes.
You can still fuck all them other hoes,
Yeah.
sluts, girls,
Yeah.
concubines,
All things.
whatever.
Jezebels.
But understand, while we're getting to know each other 2 months, 2 weeks, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, you're not forgetting, or you're forgetting about the
I do agree with Just. This is the reality of high value men. And women like her, most likely, yes. He's not talking about all men, no. But to be honest, he's talking about the high value men. Men that makes 500K or more. Those men? Yeah, this is the mindset of those men. Of, I think 90% of those men. 90, 80% of those men.
Other women that I'm still having casual sex with that you gave me the green light to do while we're getting to know each other. When you finally say, hey, Cam, all right.
I
Dr.
don't
Sarah,
finally
hold
say
on.
it.
Dr. Sarah,
Yeah.
do you want to be my girlfriend? You say, yes, I do. What happens to the other girls? It just doesn't, ta-da, they're
This is why
going
I'm
to their
saying it
exam.
takes time. Because if me and you are getting to know one another, we're friends, and then you one day are like, damn, I really love Sarah for real. That's what happens. I really love Sarah for real. I love you. I love you too. Okay, great. We're still just cool. We got mad love for each other. We have not crossed the line. I feel like for me, in my experience, create so much respect for one another that you wouldn't even lie down with me if you knew. Because you know me, everybody's different. Look, Cam, everybody's different. Because for me, from the jump, I would like to be monogamous from the jump. I don't know what time holds. I have no idea. Or I would like to be honest about it. But if it comes down to you have 3 favorite girls, I'm one of the 3. And you don't want to let them go, choose them. Don't ask me to be your girlfriend when you're still full-blown entertaining situationships over there.
But
be my friend.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's
Yes.
not how it goes. If you give a man
Yes.
an option to say, who would I want to be with?
Yes.
He's going to say you. But also knowing
Yes.
that he has other women that you allowed him to have early on in your relationship.
But it wasn't a relationship, it's a friendship.
Friendship, early on in your friendship,
Yes.
whatever ship that you want to damn sail with.
Yes.
What happens to those women?
They get cut off. The
How?
same
But
way-
how long are you willing to, that's my question. How long are you
Could be
willing?
months. Could be a year. Could be, it doesn't matter. Because this is the thing too, Cam. I also have options. And I also believe in getting to know more than one person at a time. So you're also in the running. Let's say me and you are friends, right? And you're like, you know what, Sarah, I'm really feeling you. Damn, Cam, I'm really feeling you too. Okay, let's date. We get to know each other. We're going out. We're feeding the ducks. We're having conversations.
This is why, yeah, I don't, shit like this is why, honestly, why most women cannot handle being with high value men. Because in my opinion, most women cannot handle relationships where they're one of many. They are one of many. I don't think most women can. So to be honest, I really don't think women can handle polygamy. Women can handle. I don't. It's rare. I think only the rarest of rare men, rarest of rare women, can handle these types of relationships.
We're going to movies. We're laughing. We're doing nothing on our computers, at the house, not saying a word. We're just chilling. We're just having the best time. We're allowing silence to be silence, and we're allowing noise to be noise. And it is amazing, right? We have such a great time. And inside of that, every so often, because you are a man, and I do expect you to get off the way that you need to get off, because I understand the way that men work, go do you. And I already know about it, because I expect a man to be a man. And what I'm not going to do is place boyfriend expectations on you when you're not my boyfriend. What I'm not going to do is place husband expectations on you when you're not my husband. And don't place girlfriend or wife expectations on me when I am neither. You are my friend. I don't kiss my friends. I don't sleep with my friends. So there is no way that I'm going to start to put myself into the delusion of, oh, now we go together. No, we don't. You are somebody that I'm sleeping with, that I happen to have energy with, that I call when I'm on an off day, or he's my emotional support. I don't need that. I already have that with my girlfriends. I already have that with my 2 guy friends. I already have that with my parents. I don't need it. So if you're not strictly bringing value and you don't want the same things that I want don't you. I want what wants me. You probably want what wants you. That's why you chose the way that you chose. You have an amazing girlfriend, right? And the same thing. I personally feel like so many people get into these situationships because they're bored, or because they want connectedness, or they want love, or they want passion, or whatever it is that they want. And all of that is okay. But I know me enough to know that that's not what I want. I want a person that is willing to say, I value you so much that these girls over here, they pale in comparison to what you bring to this table. I would be hurting myself by not choosing you powerfully. I would literally be hindering the man that I know I could be by not choosing you powerfully. And for that, I got to let them go. And that has been my only experience up until this point. So I can't relate to them, him being like, well, I still have those girls. If you still, be with them. Be my friend. There's nothing wrong with that. And in the interim, I also have other male friends that I haven't crossed the line with. So it's not inappropriate. It's not a slut. It's not casual sex. It's none of that. It's who is in alignment. And that's the problem with society. People want to say that because it's abstinent or because you're celibate, that it's childish. No, it's not. I'm preserving my body for what is mine. I am preserving and waiting and patient enough not to rush to do it wrong. I don't want to figure it out on the way. I want to know, do we powerfully choose each other or not? There's no right or wrong way. But I know the way that I want. And I know that my husband, my boyfriend, my man wants the same thing. Because he wouldn't want me to still be like, oh, well, this man gives me money on the side. Because by the way, the same way that men look at a beautiful woman is the same way that women look at money. And it's just the reality of the situation. Men are looking at healthy heirs. They're looking at their legacy. Women are looking at safety and security. So anybody that even has the nonsense to be like, oh, well, he's shallow, he's a man. Or any man that wants to say, oh, well, she's a gold digger, she's a woman. That's just reality of the situation. That was a lot, I know. You don't agree?
I think the point that you're making is true, and I'm in agreement with that. But I don't think you're getting my point. My point is, when you place expectations with something or someone, as you are getting to know, you're in that phase of understanding who this person really is. You use the word of sifting through who that person is. My argument is, while you are sifting through, once you give the okay to while we're sifting and understanding who we are, I can go parlay and have sex with other women. Understand that that relationship is still being built with those other women.
Agreed.
What I'm saying to you is, when we finally sift and you find out about me, I find out about you, how long are you willing to give me to eliminate what you allow? And in all times, it's not just an abracadabra wand that you could just cut off. A lot of women have expectations of a relationship that they were accomplices of as a man who has a lot and has a lot of options. So when he explores those options, knowing that he's still buying time for the woman that he really wants, it's not as easy as you saying, I want you. What you've allowed him to do is to say this is the reality. I want you, but damn, her pussy good too. And that's the reality. Because you've allowed that. How do you get to a point, or what do you say, Cam, what would you prefer me to do? If this is the man that you want, don't even give him that option.
I don't. I expect it. I expect a man to be a man. I don't say, oh, yes, sleep with everyone, smash everything. I expect you to be smashing everyone. If you are a single, successful man, maybe not everyone, but I expect you to be having sex. Let's just be realistic. I would be delusional to think that while I'm getting to know you, if I'm not having sex with you, that you're not having sex with other people.
Thank you.
That is delusional. And so I expect a man to be a man, but I also expect that my man, my husband, my boyfriend, my person understands the value that I bring, where it's a no-brainer.
Yes, it is. But
it doesn't make it easy, which I agree.
Do not undervalue
I would never.
or undermine that other relationship that you've greenlit and said, man, fuck them hoes.
But I didn't greenlight it, Cam. That's what I'm saying.
But when I mean greenlit, I'm saying while you're getting to know me, I'm celibate. We're celibate. We're just friends. We're getting to know each other. And I'm saying, do you not know I got all type of temptation crossing my path? And these nuts are full.
And let it all out, baby.
That's cool, but I'm not letting it all out on you. You're allowing me to let it out on somebody else.
Let it out.
It's a relationship that is also being created.
But do we agree? And you said the F zone. Most of those girls in the F zone won't never get out the F zone. So you go let it out in the F zone. They ain't on my level anyway, because I am a wife.
So this is
they are not.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. They have their placement. So when a man finds a wife, when he finds a partner to grow with, he's still going to have them too.
Not when they're older. It's usually the older man thing, you know.
Don't say that.
I'm just, it's not as crazy.
Because this is the thing. Like I said, we're in this establishment of fellowship. I talk to a lot of high value men. As a matter of fact, most of them are members. Where we have conversations upstairs, and for a woman not to know what a man thinks is so ignorant of her. Because if you don't know what a man thinks, even when you say certain things like, oh, just because a man can weigh his options, a woman can weigh her options too. My thing to that is, while you're weighing those options with 2, 3, sometimes even 4 different men, even though you're not having sex with them, a man thinks this: if you're not having sex with them, that's still as guilty as you knowing what the intentions of your entertaining those other men, because a man can play his role for centuries.
Agreed. So can women.
So all I'm saying to you is like, and to other women, you're playing a game where you also are an accomplice.
I can hear that. I receive that.
And that's all I'm saying.
I can agree.
Do they always suppress the desire to be with other women? Yes and no. Because there's times where you're in a relationship where it's like, oh man, girl, you got my undivided attention. And as soon as something triggers,
I swear to God, women wanting to date high value men is all I hear is just lack of morality, lack of character. It's like these men are just controlled by their sexual desires. But whatever. This is what women want.
Or femininity. We all have both, and they're all very important.
Right.
I reside more on the feminine side. Me making a life decision, like life partnership in marriage, is not a decision that I want to make. In fact, I don't want to make any of the final decisions. I want to put in my input. I want to orchestrate. I want to help for the good of the colony. But the ending decision is up to my man. Now, a good leader also knows when it's time to follow. So there will be times where it's like, babe, what do you think? And ultimately my decision gets made anyway, but he still makes that decision, not me. So for me thinking about me proposing to a man, I would never. That means I would be with a more feminine man.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Now, I always ask these questions in regards to women.
Yeah.
Is there ever a way or a time, a situation where a woman would pursue a man?
It happens every day, I think. Would I? No. I no.
But how though?
What do you mean?
Like, how would a woman? So you're against a woman pursuing a man?
I'm not against it. That's not my go-to. Like, I give a man the go. Like,
See, you're using words that were never inserted.
okay, help me. Break it down for me.
Not your go-to. I never said go-to.
Okay.
The question is,
Yes.
do you agree
Yeah.
or do you not agree
Yes.
with a woman that pursues a man?
I do not agree.
Okay.
At all. Because again, that is a more masculine thing. I think that a pursuit is up to a man. And I think that a woman positions herself and a man goes to capture her. So I do think that a lot of women are missing where they're putting themselves in position, or they don't put themselves in position, or they're just in the house, which I completely understand. But you have to be in position in order to be sought after. So that's number one. But number two, why would I, for feminine women, I'm going to give you like the okay, like come and get me. There's going to be eye contact. There's going to be certain things that you do that I've learned by being a woman that you do that says a man, it's like, okay, yeah, I should go over there.
What are those cues for the men who will see this? Because oftentimes I'm not in agreement to that.
Okay.
I believe you get what you want. And even the alpha of all alphas or the sigmas of all sigma strong men, they still need help.
Yeah, I'll help you, but I'm not pursuing you.
But what are the cues?
Number one is eye contact. I feel like if you see a person from across the way, like let's say as an example, okay, I've read a lot of books, I've gone to a lot of retreats. I also have the most incredible mother ever. But what I'll say is it's the way that you look at a person, and just having, and it sounds really strange, but having 3 extra seconds of eye contact in a world where no one really makes eye contact is the difference. So let's say I'm looking at my friend right here. Can I look at you, or is that weird inside of my camera? So if I see him from across the way and we lock eyes, you gotta lock eyes with me. And we lock eyes, I'm gonna look away. He's probably still looking. Now I'm gonna look back. 1, 2, you could even bat your eyes a little bit. Another thing to do to look cute, you can look down and then look up. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna look away and do something flirty or some, just all in body movement. It's a whole thing. I just gave you the okay to come talk to me, if you choose.
I just got goosebumps. The sirens is like, damn,
Is that true or is it true?
it's fuck. Damn, that shit true. Nobody ever said it though.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you the go. You'll know if you should like come say hello. I'm also very friendly, like by nature, so I'm a hugger and like, you know, all the things. But there's a difference between when I am intentionally like, you can come and get me, and when I'm like, hi.
Fellas, I hope y'all paying attention, because at this particular point in time, I need every man who sees this to go to that app. Matter of fact,
Oh, I hate that. I hate that when women say that. Oh, actually, it's just being nice. That's sometimes women can f up the game. Women can really f up the game. It's like they make, yes, I've always thought it. If a woman's looking at a man and she's looking at a man like a good amount, it's like a signal. But a lot of times women f that shit up. It's like, oh no, it's not. I'm just being nice, or just all this shit. It's like you're just messing with the game.
you ain't gotta go to it. You press that button on your phone that will awaken Siri. Hey Siri, can you open my notes, please?
If you know that I'm not giving, so who else is she giving it to for a meal? There's nothing special or impressive about this girl. So now for me, when you don't sleep with me, you know that I'm also not sleeping with others. Automatically, I've separated myself from about 90% of women. So I'm gonna roll in my 10% lane by being abstinent, by vetting, by doing that. There is a psychology to being a feminine woman and also to being a masculine man.
It's hard out here
It's not.
for a man.
You think so?
Oh, understand this. Huh. Darling, might I add to that, being a high-value man is something that's thrown out there easily.
Yes.
But moving,
Yeah.
the temptation, darling, is something that is harder than just saying, don't do it. Because, bruh, trust and believe.
Yeah.
You may have something at home.
Yes.
And you get that 3-second touch, 3-second stare, and oh my God.
There's this thing that Napoleon Hill writes about called sexual transmutation. And this is essentially when a man can harness and hone in on his own sexual energy. And even though he may think about it, may have the desire to do it, but when you do that, when a man is more exclusive, it adds to his value. Same for a woman. And more so for a woman than for a man. Sorry to say that. I know you guys are going to get mad, but it's just the truth, societally speaking, right? But when a man is untouchable, all the women want him. It's a thing. There's something about like, ooh, like, and then when you got the man that nobody could touch, it's just a whole different everything. Because it's like, it's easy to give into temptation, but it is so sexy when you don't.
That shit sound good.
I mean, it's the truth.
I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit sound
It's the truth.
admirable. That shit sound like, who you say? Apollo, Napoleon?
Napoleon Hill.
That shit sound good. Well, was he black or white?
He was white. Yeah.
Let me
I think they
get,
cheat the most too, to be honest.
yeah, white men?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think white women, sorry guys, I think white women go into marriage knowing what to expect. I think women are groomed to know that it's okay if your man cheats. If you have a high earning husband as a white counterpart, partnership, I think oftentimes it's like,
Can I ask you a question, Doc?
yeah,
How many relationships would be saved
yeah.
or stay together if infidelity was not an issue?
I don't think most people should be in relationships if infidelity is an issue. Now, if it's a thing that comes up every so often, okay. But if infidelity is an issue, I don't think you should choose it. Now, let's just say it's a thing.
She should, yeah, I think, to be honest, I think any woman that's getting with a high value man should understand that.
But just answer my question first and then you can make your point.
Okay.
How many relationships will still be together or
Most.
be saved if infidelity was not an issue?
23% of relationships where men are married cheat. 19% of relationships where women are married cheat. Now, I think, it's my own personal belief about that statistic, that 20 out of that 23% of men are in the top 1%. I think most times cheating is, it's work. You know, if you go to a 9 to 5 and you come home and you got the kids and you're tired and you have a nagging wife and, you know, you got your boys, it's like, I'm exhausted.
Cheating is a rich man's sport.
It is. I agree.
So, please,
Cheating is a rich man's sport.
keep that in mind. Let me ask you this question before we get into our game.
Okay.
Because I have a note here that says we are 2 hours and 35 minutes into this discussion, and we ain't even got into our game. So, you in your bag, I'm in my bag. For the sake of discussion, this is a healthy conversation.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having that.
Yes, yes.
Just being open and willing to having this type of conversation. Now, which would you say is a deal breaker for you?
Oh.
You found out that your partner is sleeping with someone. Or you find out that your partner is financially taking care of someone.
Ooh.
Which one is worse?
Both.
No. Which would you say
okay.
is a deal breaker?
The second one, because if you do the second one, you definitely doing the first part.
That's not
You
true.
don't financially take care of people you're not smashing.
That's not true.
Well, I'm sorry. In my mind, I don't know where that would happen at.
That's cool.
Unless it's the mother of the child from the past. Outside of that, it's not happening.
So
The second.
you find out that your partner is financially taking
Yeah,
care.
because he's smashing her.
That's
and
not
he's financially taking care of her.
That's not true.
It has to be,
Okay, we haven't rehearsed this. It ain't tricking.
if you got it.
Okay, cool. So if a person has the means to assist somebody,
No, if you want to be a trick, go be a trick. This is not Halloween for me over here. This is real life for me. This is not trick or treat.
Mm-hmm.
This is if you want to go take care of another woman, are we poly?
it happens every day.
But are we poly? Is that why you're taking care of
I'm
another
talking
woman?
about you.
I'm saying in my are we poly? Do I have a
Accept-
sister wife?
Would you accept a poly relationship?
This is the thing about poly. I feel like, number one, poly's not legal in America. So whoever's the first wife, you really have a wife and then you have a bunch of girlfriends. So I would be first wife. Also, I feel like my ego would be like, you need to know that I'm first wife. But ultimately, I think about, like, I don't think that a man having sex with someone else means that he loves me less. I just don't believe that.
Oh my God, Dr. Sarah, I just literally had a conversation with you about 45 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I sit up here and said, this man
Yes.
wants you and he has them.
That's different.
They know their
I'm talking
role.
about poly here.
They know their role.
Yeah.
And still, I will love the fuck out of you.
Yes.
And you helped create this.
Scenario.
And
This is poly, though. That's different.
so you're not opposed of being in a poly situation?
I don't know. At this point in my life, honestly, I'm open. I'm in surrenderment to what
And
God would
the
have for me.
truth comes out.
No, but I desire to be
2
monogamous.
hours and 40 minutes later.
Okay, for me, I desire monogamy. But I don't.
You know, women amazes me. With men with money, they will reconsider poly. They will reconsider if he wants multiple women. With good average men who don't make a lot of money, no. You better be monogamous. You better be perfect. But high value men, okay, you have the money. It's okay that, you know, you go with other women. You know what? It's like, this is a thing where I've said this before, where it's more that I'm not saying men make a lot of money so you can cheat. I'm saying men make a lot of money so you don't have to deal with bullshit. So you don't have to go by other people's rules. People will bend to yours. That's the thing. Be the best version of yourself, especially financially, so you're not dealing with other people's bullshit. You're not dealing with other people's rules. People are dealing with your rules. That's the thing. Average men, because they're not rare, they're not special, they are dealing with women's rules. High value men, women are dealing with their rules. That's why I think, like, you know, one of the things where I'm trying to better myself financially is that, yeah, so I want a woman comes into my life, follows my leadership, my direction, instead of, you know what, let me follow hers and the downfall of our relationship.
I don't know.
Never say what you won't do
Yeah,
if you've never been in that situation.
I would never. I can't do that.
So, can we get into our game now?
Yes.
All right. Love and times having money is enough.
Yeah.
And
Sad.
going from situation to situation, this is where I believe women should pursue a man.
No.
It helps identify, like, yo, damn, she different. It's the intellectual side where a alpha man can take a lead because a woman knows how she wants to be treated. And she teaches him those things.
Yes.
So with that, I'm like, yo, if you want to be courted a certain type of way, oftentimes men are creatures of habitat, just like women are. But if we've been getting
Habitat or habit?
away with just having money, just having roses, just having private jets, just having the opportunity to give an experience that they're not used to seeing, that's enough for some people. Well, when you get a woman that comes along that's not impressed solely by that, okay, it's light, okay, you look at it and it's a difference maker, but that's not enough.
Right.
Men will lead and take a step back and say, okay, help me, put me on.
Well, you learn that inside of getting to know someone in the vetting process. So one thing you'll learn about me, if we go out for a smoothie, it's gonna come up that I don't eat meat or fish. I love a smoothie. It's so easy. It's so simple, right? So I don't do that. Or I love to salsa dance. I literally love to salsa. So it's like, that's gonna come out. What do you love to do? The things are gonna come out, but the question is he listening? So that lesson is for the man. The woman is oftentimes going to give you the cheat code. Are you going to use it?
Are women better at fighting temptation, or do they have? They don't understand the crazy BBLs. You will get fucked, but you won't get cuffed.
But how do you even do, like physically? I'm like, the math doesn't math for
Okay,
me.
we talking like homeboys now.
Yeah.
So you'll see it and be like, damn, I fucked the shit out of her, but I would not be caught with her.
Period.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Wow. We have these conversations in my relationship.
Yeah.
And she's everything.
Yeah.
It's like, she got ratchet in her. She got professional
As
in
she
her.
should.
She got,
You could bring her to
some buns. You know what I'm saying? Like, we court each other like that.
Yeah.
But we can't wait to go in the airport. We can't wait to go somewhere and people watch and that's just our toxic funniness.
Yeah.
I'm dating a comedian. You know, I'm with, not even dating, I'm with a comedian. Like,
Yeah.
she'll say some shit, bro, that I'll be like, bro, you crazy. And our inside jokes are dark. Like, example, I'll send her something on Instagram. Now, this is a different level of relationship that people who aren't in a relationship will never understand. When you found your person, you can literally have a separate conversation by way of a
to a man that's not a husband. And I said, I don't understand the difference between girlfriend and wife. Can you please break it down for me? Because I don't know how to not be me. I don't know how to not connect. And I go on and on. I don't know how, because he's been working with me for months at this point. And Long story short, what he said is the difference between a girlfriend and a wife is a girlfriend is still mine and yours. You have your car, I have my car. You have your house, I have my house. You have your things, I have my things. But when we are married and we come before God as one, it's ours. We have our house. We have our cars. We have our dog. We have our children. And the problem is most people go down the road of girlfriend or boyfriend acting like husband or wife, saying things like our home when you break up, and it's a delusion. You were never that man's wife. You were never that woman's husband. You were never even really that serious. More so you were convenience, because most people can't afford to pay a rent on their own. And so what did we do? We got comfortable and we moved in together, and that was the thing. Can't be me, won't be me. No, I need some kind of promise. When I move in as a girlfriend, my ex asked me to move in with him when I moved to Atlanta. I said, absolutely not. I will be getting a condo. I just, no. And
Was he assisting in payments?
no, I don't pay bills. Sorry.
So he was paying for your house?
When I moved here
Yes.
and we were together, yeah, I don't pay a bill when I'm in a relationship. I attract the type of men that want to provide.
Now,
So when she moved to Atlanta, the man said, move in with me. She said no, because there was no guarantee that anything is hers. Okay. So she said she needed a condo. But he was paying her rent for the condo. So what was the difference? If he stopped paying that condo, it would have. So really, the absolute ridiculous. And she just said she don't pay no bills. It's like, these women are just ridiculous.
you know that discussion
Sorry.
just
Got
hit
spicy.
and abrupt.
Sorry. It's just my truth.
Explain that. You don't pay Nathaniel?
Like a rent? No.
So is that okay? Cool. But I will say, is that still not a form of him? Is that his condo or is that your condo?
No, it's mine.
How?
Because I make money and I lease it.
Okay, no. You said
Yeah.
you don't pay no bills.
Yeah, I
when
don't.
you're in a relationship.
When I'm in a relationship.
Cool. When you moved down here,
Yeah.
you've admitted that he assisted.
No, he paid the bills.
Okay. fine.
Yeah.
He paid the bills.
Yeah.
Is that your apartment?
Mine. My
How?
name. My bank account. My qualifications.
So how do you pay if he's paying?
What do you mean?
No. Yours. Am I being clear?
I don't know.
Okay. So you're saying
Yes.
that you do not pay a bill when in a relationship.
Yeah.
But you're also saying mine.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you this question.
Yes.
If you don't pay the bills,
Yeah.
how can you say it's mine?
Okay, so this is where things get a little, here we go, we're gonna dive in.
Say less.
Okay, so first and foremost, when we are not in a covenant under God, there is no yours and mine. If you pay the bill or you don't pay the bill, I definitely appreciate men that I attract coming in desiring to want to provide for me. I think that is a beautiful thing. And inside of that, inside of the monetary provision, because there's more than just monetary provision, it's mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, all of those different things. But that's
Man,
for
get to
another
the
day.
point where you talk about
monetary.
these bills.
Yes.
'Cause-
So
Get
if
to
you
the
want to pay
point.
for me, if you want to pay my bills, right? You give me the money goes to the bills. Period. That's it. And look, this is the thing. As in my adult life, that's been my experience.
Yeah, but that's his condo.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Because this is the thing, Cam, just because you look, that's like saying just because I take you to dinner, I get to have sex with you.
No.
It's not a level of
Yeah,
owing.
No.
Because look, no, let me tell you why not.
What you
But
should
can I say one
say
thing?
by me paying for that dinner is in good faith that one day it's leading to sex.
Well, in one day it was leading to marriage.
That's cool.
So-
you can't build a house with one brick.
With one brick? What do you mean?
Don't let that fly over your
It
head.
flew. I need to know. I need to break it down.
You can't build a house with one brick. There's multiple bricks that make a house.
Absolutely.
So when you're saying a wife or
Yes,
a girlfriend
yes.
or a real relationship, there's
Yes.
certain multiple things that, okay, I can pay your bills.
Yeah.
Okay, I can give you emotional safety.
Yes.
Okay, I can do all these things. That is what it gives.
It's
No
all
pun
of
intended.
it. I like that. It's all of it. Like I said, I want it all.
But okay, this is where Big Bro come in.
No. So let me make this clear, because first and foremost, I feel like there are a lot of women that want to attract men that want to provide for them. I don't ask for anything, Cam. I've never said we can't be together if you don't pay my bills. That doesn't even happen. It's not even inside of the
So
conversation.
how do you get to a point? This is extremely contradicting.
It's not.
Because how do you say you cannot be in a relationship and you
Yes.
don't pay bills? That's obviously
What do you
a
mean?
non-negotiable that you've put in the universe and said, if you with me,
That's what I get.
That's cool.
So also you have to think about this. That's why I'm saying I know the world. I know the world of affluent, successful men, because those are the men that I choose. We all attract everything, because if you have a good spirit, you're attractive. But the ones that you choose back, it's another thing.
This woman is going to be forever single or with men that will cheat on her. It's like, this is the woman that will either forever be single. She'll be wealthy, right? She'll make her own money. And be maybe situationships or whatever, relationships that don't end in any kind of, seriousness. Or just, God damn, this is like, or she just be in relationships that, that these men will definitely cheat on her.
And the money, by the way, is not enough. When I told you I've walked away, my relationship before my last, he got me a Cullinan and a Bentley Mulsanne. Walked away. Money is not enough. Now, do I attract men that want to provide for me? Yes, and I don't feel bad for saying that. Do I also bring value to that man? Yes, absolutely, and he shouldn't feel bad for saying that. Are there tangible and intangible things that we both do for one another? But in no way should a man be like, oh, I'm paying the bills, that's my condo, because I never asked you to pay for anything. If you want to provide for me, if you want to say, oh, you know what, baby, let me take care of that. Okay, cool, thank you. But it's not a prerequisite to being like, oh, if you don't pay my bills, you can't be my boyfriend.
but this comes with, just like the earlier example,
Yeah.
this is coming with the understanding that most women don't know the intentions behind that man paying for your.
And that's the difference, because most women aren't vetting out their men. Most women are jumping into something just because a man has money. That's not what I'm doing.
So for the sake of argument,
Yes.
when you're in a relationship, a person is giving you money towards a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I wouldn't say towards a lifestyle.
Okay, let's say a house.
Sure.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
When you guys are no longer together.
Yeah.
Who's now responsible for?
My life, me.
Okay.
I pay my bills. Right now, I do. I'm not in an exclusive relationship, and
Okay.
I pay every single one of my
So
bills.
take me through.
Yes.
When you start dating somebody, how does it come up to be taken care of, to be like, this your bill?
First of all, I don't do that. One of the things about femininity is we don't ask. Feminine women, you don't have to ask for anything. You know the need. You know where I'm at. You know where I live. You know what it is. And if you choose to do it, because masculinity naturally wants to solve a problem. Masculinity wants to show, for a woman that he loves, he wants to do for her. Now, I actually had the conversation on my podcast with a person of, I was out eating by myself, and a person came up and talked to me, and we got into a super deep conversation. And he was saying how he was in a relationship, and he's recently single, and we were talking about money and all the things, and I was like, do you believe in a 50-50 household? Because he knew me from my podcast. And he's like, no, I was doing like 80-20. And I said, well, what would have made you want to be at 100%? And he said, honestly, I didn't think she deserved it. So what I took from that, and I'm not a man, and you tell me, Cam, but what I took from that is most men, when they feel loved, when they feel safe, when they feel nurtured, when they feel appreciated, when they feel like their girl is going above and beyond for them, if they have the extra means, they too are going to want to go above and beyond for their woman. So it's no different. A man with me feels like, you know what, I want to be able to do this for you. It's not me saying, if you don't pay my bills, you aren't going to get any money. No, it's me saying, they ask, how much is this? How much is that? How much is this? How much is that? And then after we've become exclusive, it turns into, here you go, babe, it's a Zelle. Pay this. Here you go, babe. And then it turns into every month. And it is what it is. And it's not in a space of I'm any kind of special or extra. It's just the reality of it. Femininity does not have to ask. I don't have to ask. I'm just saying, that's my experience in my adult life with a lot of my adult partners.
My experience goes as follows.
Yeah.
As a man,
Yes.
my money is our money.
Okay.
Your money is your money.
Yes.
Dating for women is so easy. Dating for women is so easy. And you know what? You wonder why women can make the money they make when they don't have to spend their own effing money. Men will spend their own money on women, while women can save and build up their own money. God, this is all right. It's been a long been a long live. Interesting. It's okay. Not bad. Not a bad podcast. Not a bad video. It was okay. She's. This is the thing with women like this. They say a lot of shit, but goes back to what I've said before. Although she says a whole lot of nice things or logical things, she's attracted to men you don't see a future with. The high value men. The men, she says she wants monogamy, yet she will date men, the type of men that more often than not aren't into monogamy. They fake it, they say it, but to be honest, these men, these types of men, are rarely monogamous. Rarely. It's rare to find a man in these tax bracket that would be monogamous. Rare. But no surprise that this is a woman that will be attracted to those types of men. Yet will say a whole lot of shit. Means what? Because your experience means what? You don't even live by what you think, what your words and shit like that. So yeah, I mean, her credit. This is the thing where, to be honest, I think most women who say a lot of shit, they have no credibility. They don't. Okay? These are the type of women will still live by nice guys finish last. Nice guys finish last. If you don't have the money, you will finish last. Yeah, I don't know. These women are funny. These women are funny. And this is the thing where it's just, dating is so easy for women. It really is. I mean, like, they get so much from dating. Men, they get so little. They get so little from it. Especially average men. So, I don't know. Alright, I think it was a decent live. I think it was okay. I hope you guys liked it. Just thank you, bro, for, for being active in active in the chats. You're amazing. I love you, bro. Skull, thank you for stopping by. We had Anti-Black. We had Alvi. Thank you guys. Love you guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the love. Yeah. Hope you guys, have a good week. Later, guys. Love ya. Later, Joss.